7% or 6 or 5 or something like that. So it's not that much. To be honest, they've been doing a good job of that.
I think I don't want to commit to anything else time-wise, right?
But I was more thinking technical possibilities, because that way, something like that. So yeah,
definitely, it's a good idea. All right, so what am I doing here? It's okay. It's just the laptop. We're good.
Yeah. Let's see here.
We are good.
Yep. Oh, there's Michael. Hello.
What's up, Valmoku?
Yeah, we just chatted a bit in Discord.
Oh, cool.
Yep. To play this campaign.
Tim is definitely coming on. Tim is coming on. So what's going on there, Michael? How are you? It's Sunday, right? I think.
Yep. It is. Last time I checked.
What's up, Patrick? Lowry? What's going on? Obsidian, good to see you. Hello.
Yeah, Moku's Nyron site is really awesome. Yeah.
Oh, his what is awesome? I'm sorry?
Yeah, his Nyron site, his campaign site with Nyron.
Oh, that's awesome. Great.
Yep, it's really cool.
That's awesome. Always good to have.
Greyhawk blog making.
Dun, dun, dun. Hey, long shot. Congrats on your son's victories there. That's awesome to hear. I just drew a blank on what button I was supposed to hit next there. Yeah, no Elden Ring here, BB. Exactly. Every other video game streamer in the world's playing it. I appreciate the irony in that discussion and that point. That was funny. If I had time, I'd play it, or I'd play any other video game. But you trust me, also, none of you want to see me stream a video game. It's not what we're here for.
There's a lot of others who do that.
Yeah. Hey, Rob. What's going on? How's the game going over on Kayla's? I was lurking the whole time. It's been a busy day. Sun's soccer game. They did lose 5-2, but oh well. And a lot of other fun things going on. I had company over. It's kind of like I turned 55 Tuesday, so I got like people over tonight. Well, today, this afternoon, people over next weekend. So yeah. Hey, what's up? We got 2 Phantoms on now. Awesome. 491 and a Phantom New Jersey. Awesome. Very cool. Thanks. What's really sad, long shot, Greg, is I said this I get my AARP card in 2 days. Oh, that's great. See, that's a good thing, Rob, to continue that. Yeah, I never drive 55, Patrick. I always drive over the speed limit. I'm bad. So hopefully I don't get in trouble for saying that on Twitch, but shouldn't. I'm more like the life's been good driving speed from Joe Walsh. It will, especially on that. What's that elevated road that runs all throughout North Jersey? That's always like under construction and all. It's got all the bridges and it looks like it's about to crumble. Oh God, what's that? Oh, it's raised. I like that thing. Scares me to death. Yeah, the Pulaski, that's it. The Pulaski Skyway. It's a death trap. Oh my God. I was like, who built this and why?
Probably built it with today's traffic. You know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that's definitely scary. This is going to be a kind of a theoretical discussion tonight, a little bit, or maybe a how-to or how you get there. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
Got Tim coming on too. Who's always mysterious. There you go. Yeah. Yeah, where 1 and 9 merge is a little wacky. Then what's the one that that has all the stone barricades up there? Running north into New York State. Oh man, that's another one. It's like you want to hit those. It's a nice drive because it's scenic, but it's just like, oh my God. I am happy every day of my life that I live in South Jersey, not North Jersey. Hey, Hager. No, the stone, the guardrails are stone instead. It's oh gosh. Yeah. Running up to New York. It kind of parallels 1 and 9. Oh my gosh, yeah, I don't know Jersey too much. If you want to go to Nyack, you can go that way, I think.
Try at LA traffic.
Oh gosh. Yeah. Thanks for
probably as bad as
it is. We're going to talk about Greyhawk campaign. Yeah, it's Palisades. That's it. That's it. That's what I'm talking about. Palisades. Yep, you got it. We're going to talk about Greyhawk campaign locations and how to develop your own. Hopefully that this makes sense. This is one of those theoretical nights here we got in between. Having great guests last week and great guests next week. We'll talk about that. And a monster night last night. Hey, and it's got a lot of roads on the map where we can go over roads. There's a lot of road systems.
Oh yes. That's one of the things that we're not on the Greyhawk map. There are a few maps out there that have roads, so that's one of the things that kind of dig into.
Keep on looking up for Jim. Oh, Patrick, awesome, man. Thanks. Maybe we'll get a hype train. We'll hype it up! I gotta say something about last night's, too.
Oh, yes.
44 months, too. Wow, that's awesome. Let's go live here. Hello, everyone! I think I'm live. Are we live? Yeah, we're live.
I think we're live.
We're live. I think so. Good evening, J.K. Lord Gazumba, and thank you, Phantom. Awesome. I'm a little man. I guess I didn't get much sleep last night, Anna. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, you were riled up, and it was fun, and we babbled a bit afterwards, and
we did. We babbled a lot, and we had a great time, and we've had some really generous chat going on in Twitter from both Ed and Todd, and that was really nice to see. That was really, really cool of them. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think all the other players, they were fantastic. I had so much fun, and it was such a lot of cool bantering and fun and in-character kind of chat and stuff that was really added to the game, I think.
It was a blast, and the part between Todd's character Morton and MJ's character Dylan, with her writing down everything he was doing, was hysterical. It was just like dictating.
And he looked sideways at her.
Yeah. So you writing this down? So cool. Yeah. It was awesome. Yeah. That was fun. But we did break one record I didn't think we'd ever smash last night. Oh, well, that's good, because we got Von Moko on, Rob, and he's one to really help you deep dive in there, and he's a Nairon expert. We had a 900% of level 5 hype train last night, and that was insane. So thank you. That was from this gentleman really helped out with that. That was Wayne. So thanks, man. Thank you so very much. So we had some great giveaways last night. Let me set them up. Ever Mysterious Tim will be coming on as well at some point. Yeah, because he never gets the times right. So classic D&D reprint giveaways tonight. Once my face is visible, it is. So we'll let you choose one of these three. You got Ghost Tower of Inverness, Sinister Secret of Salt Marsh, or Border Watch. We'll do two of these. All right. So we'll do two of those, and may throw some other stuff in. Always courtesy of Patrick, Canadian Ancient Gamer. So this always keeps us stocked, which is really when you think of it. I got duplicates of a couple of these, so always a nice thing. So thank you so very much, Patrick. But wow, my gosh, we're already up to a level. We're already almost to a level 4. So, all right, hey Bones, who else is on? There's Will. Will, what are you up to, man? How's life? How's life treating you? So the reason I'm asking The reason I'm asking is if you wanted to hop on and talk about how you developed your Bandit Kingdoms or your Rook Roost, I'd be more than happy to have you hop on if you want to come on for 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This is going to be what this discussion is going to be about. How like we decided where we went in Greyhawk and what we did to develop it, because I know a lot of people are afraid. I get that feeling like some of the newer players like, well, I don't want to tread on anyone else's canon, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't want to mess up an area,
Yeah.
and that can't happen. That's not, you can't mess it up, because the worst thing that can happen is you just say, well, you erased it that it happened, or you undo it, or you just
Yeah.
or you just do a do-over. I mean, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
Okay,
My advice to beginning
cool. Will's gonna hop on.
Greyhawk.
Look at that.
Wow,
That's
awesome.
great, Will.
Yeah.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, that'd be great.
Like beginning DMs in Greyhawk, meaning don't mess up the whole setting. Start with a small area and mess that up first, and then move on from there, so to speak. Because if you screw up and you do something that you regret, or something that you later doesn't fit into what more story you want to do, and when you read about the larger picture and get to know more, so don't mess up the thing. And one general rule: don't mess up, don't do end of the world scenarios. Don't do them.
That's a great. So I'm going to put, so BB Fan Fun just said a point, which is kind of yes and no. And he says, so little actual canon to affect. Yes, unless you take into account Living Greyhawk. And then there's too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they destroyed everything. So like, it's a tough one but I just ignore, I take little bits and pieces from Living Greyhawk.
And Living Greyhawk is interesting because
Lore,
that's like
great
10
point,
different.
Great point.
Yeah, like Living Greyhawk is like 10 homebrew campaigns weaved into one, so to speak, or 20 or 30.
Yes.
And you get everything messed up. So they're a good example both of what to do and what not to do, because that spanned the whole gamut of the best and the worst in Greyhawk stuff.
Yeah, yeah. And there's always it's always a nice, like, how do I decide where we're going to play next? So while we're waiting for Will, and while we're waiting for Tim, why don't we do that? Why don't I do this? And by the way, whoops, I hit the wrong button already. Yes, I hit the wrong button there. It started off of a home run on the wrong button there. There's Tim. He'll be on shortly. So new DMs. Don't start in the city is a good point. Yeah,
exactly. Don't start in something that is super developed. Take something that you have read about a little bit, or just invent something in a place that is empty and read about the surrounding areas, and then fit something that will fit the puzzle, so to speak, or fit in the puzzle, and just go with it.
We'll start tonight. The most remote place I play in, and the rarest place I play in. Let's start there. All right. And that is the Vespi.
Ooh.
Okay.
Yep.
So there's a lot of published source in Marklands and Eyes of the Evil, but not much anywhere else. So it's time frame specific to the wars, which means that if you don't play in that era, you can still take stuff that's in there, like locations, which are still going to be there. I mean, especially ruins and stuff, and you can throw it in here. Now, here's a little anomaly on this map. I want to, Anna, you know this, but thanks, Lomas. Oh, I think you got us. Did you get us over it? Oh, it's so close.
96.
That's all right. We got it. We got a 4 equivalent. That's fine. That's awesome. Thank you. So, if you see this, someone tell me the anomaly on this map. A major anomaly. Now, Anna was part of it, but what is the anomaly on this map?
That's something we did, and now I forgot what.
Yes, it's a glaring thing. Anyone know on my map here what the major anomaly is? And I'll give it 10 more seconds. I won't dwell on it. Well, no, the shield's up there. That's not an anomaly because it's part of my campaign. Because there's an Order of Ulek location here, the Eagle's Nest up in the Beastman Forest. But good guess. This map is a 576 map. So the defile glades don't happen until the From the Ashes, which is fun, right? Which is years later. So this, but I said, Anna, yeah.
Do you want to keep it or should we remove
No,
it?
I had you at it.
Oh,
because I wanted
we did it.
I wanted the 576 map to go back to, but I wanted certain locations for my time frame. So I did that on purpose. So Anna actually transposed.
So what's your story for Defiled Glades then? Does it differ or it came from the same?
It came from the same, but I wanted less clutter on the 576 as opposed to the 591 map? Is it
598 map?
598 map. So but there are certain locations that I wanted on the map because I used them. Because we have a group of druids in the Defile Glades at Retrievers Grove, and that's the name of the group, is basically the Retrievers. And what they do is they're trying to cleanse and recover. So they have a grove and they're slowly bringing nature back out of the Defile Glades. So this is something that, you know, is a little bit of a trick here. Is there's no reason that you can't take one of Anna's old maps and put a location on it because you're going to go into a different time frame. And there's a lot of things like that. Like as you can see, this looks a lot different. I mean, a lot darker here in this area here, right, Anna? During
598 map is a bit different than 576.
Exactly.
The lens is darker and stuff. Yep.
Yeah, but I wanted the 576 base map, so that was a major thing. So note that in the course of adventuring, we did a lot of adventuring up here. In the Gary Con Live is coming in 2 weeks in a row.
Oh,
wow! Welcome. Thank you, Jimmy. Thank you, Matt, Casey. Hey, thank you, Luke, if you're there, Jason, and the whole crew that are playing. We got a really cool Greyhawk discussion tonight. So come on in, sit in, and for that I'll add another giveaway. So what I'll do is I'll double the number of modules we'll do. We'll give the two winners their choice of two. So we're gonna have Ghost Tower of Inverness, all right, and we'll have Salt Marsh. And we'll also have a Border Watch. We'll give two of those away for choice at the end of the night. We'll do two drawings. Very kind of you to come in there, Gary Con Live. Really appreciate it. Thank you. Here comes Will and Henry Dvorak, everyone. Will, thanks for just hopping on.
Good to see you.
I figured this would be great because you have a great area you've developed as well, as to the point of almost publishing. So one thing before we get really cranking here. Thank you for everyone last night. It was a monster show. Todd Stashwick was unbelievable. Ed was great. MJ, Anna, and the whole crew. Eric Boyd. Oh my gosh, and Tony. It was fantastic last night. So thank you for the support in the game and the special last night. Just some wonderful, wonderful players. Yeah, thank you, Bones. It was a wonderful game last night.
Yep.
And if I hit this button, this is tentative, but if I hit that button, it should work. That's Tim's, but I hit the wrong one. I always hit the wrong button. The Sob Squad's coming back. Look, April 9th, I think, is the date. We have 4 of 6 confirmed, so that'll be a Saturday evening coming up. So, Will, thank you for coming on, man. Really great to see you.
Not a problem.
So let me go while we have Will. Let me go to his area. Two wrong buttons. Two wrong buttons tonight. Oh my God, Jay. 2 wrong buttons. So we get to go to Rook Roost.
Rook Roost.
Yes.
A little bit.
Yeah. Well, I'm
the heart of the Bandit Kingdoms.
Yeah, the heart of the Bandit Kingdoms. So here's our area of the Bandit Kingdoms. We're talking about developing your own Greyhawk campaign or playing in one, and just how you get the feel for where you want to start tonight. So I know we have so many new viewers. We wanted to share this discussion, and we had Ed and Eric Mengi on last week. Next week we got Malden and Rick Rose. So you like that? The count. I'm something, man. I can't believe how many times I messed up. All right, here's the Bandit Kingdoms. This is Will's stomping ground, and Will has got a.
That's where I first started streaming. Was in the Bandit Kingdoms.
Very cool.
So why did you choose Band
Yes,
of Kingdoms?
great
And
question.
What was your reasoning behind picking that spot of
Because it's full of cutthroats.
Okay, yeah.
Basically, the reason I picked it, for one, I've always enjoyed the Band of Kingdoms, but two, I had a Dirty Dozens campaign idea in mind. And I was like, well, what better place to do it in than you do it in the Band of Kingdoms? So, and that was the entire
Cool.
entire idea behind that campaign.
What,
so that's
what
why I
was
chose
the
it.
steps to, meaning what did you do initially? Read everything about Band of Kingdoms
No.
before you put,
not even. There was just a couple of, there was a couple of things. Like I knew I wanted to do it in the Band of Kingdoms, but what really started off was I really like White Plume Mountain, and I wanted to do something with Caraptus.
Yeah.
So White Plume is in the Band of Kingdoms. And
yeah,
I was
it's
like,
the southwest
okay.
corner of the Band of Kingdoms, so to speak. Yeah.
That's like, okay, so I'm going to use him as my main, my big bad. And then it's like, I just took the idea from there. It's like, okay, so he'll be the big bad. I'll have to figure him in some kind of way.
Pick an area, pick a big bad guy, and then what next, so to speak.
Yeah. And when it comes down to like with the stream, it was a lot like when I write, I generally will pick a title first. And then develop the story out of the title. So Return to the Band of Kingdoms was the title. And I was like, all right, well, if they're returning, they got to be bad guys from the Band of Kingdom. Then that got me to be with the Dirty Dozen, basing it off the film and what have you. So
cool.
Yeah. And it was just a matter of just from the ground up and then just pulling the Greyhawk parts out that I want here and there. It's like, okay, well, if they're going to be there, where are they going to be from? Well, they're coming from the county of Ernst. That's where they're doing time. And, and it's like, you just go and you take a look at the information that's available that's around about everything. And then you just pull it out pieces by here and there. The most work I did was essentially on the track. Like I went through and I did a bunch of stuff with Dimri in the Band of Kingdoms, because that's the first place where they went across. And then the Jarhas, God, was it Evermeet?
Yeah.
Or Kinmeet. Kinmeet. And I mapped that out and put that together. And then that was the focal point for the slaves and the Iuzian slave trade was going all through there. And then I went through and I took Rook Roost and I went ahead and I started writing up and producing Rook Roost. I have a tendency to just overwrite and just make all kinds of different stuff that I never use.
But do you like sandboxing? You develop an area like crazy and then the players run straight through it and 80% not used or
yes, well, it depends. Not really. And the reason I didn't was because the simple fact that the players that I had were I kind of gotta, the breadcrumbs, I gotta leave the trail for them. So I didn't really have to do sandboxy stuff. I just went ahead, built it, and then they just very politely followed it. So I didn't really have to worry about that so much. So I just built up the areas that the next part of the story was going to. So
the reason I get players that run through is like I mentioned some interesting cool name way off and the players are like boom, and they run
we're gonna go there.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, that sounds awesome, and poof, off we go.
So Will, Aaron and I know something that maybe the audience doesn't know, that this is developed into a full publication coming out.
Yes, actually, so basically when I started doing this, then I started writing articles on the Band of Kingdom, which those I then went and they put those up on the Greyhawk Companion, my blog or webpage. And so that turned into a series where I just went through and I was writing about Rook Roost here, there, and there. Then what I did is I took all those and I got an editor and turned it in basically into a manuscript. So it is a full-blown Rook Roost supplement now about the city itself. So it takes into account all the heads of the city, all major NPCs, takes into account IUs and all that. But it's like how Carlos does it, all the names have been changed to protect the innocent. So Rook Roost has become Raven's Rook.
Can I splash this mansion and Rook Roost up? Is that yours? Official deed or mansion and Rook Roost? Is that it says 3/6/3? No, it's not you. It says 3/6/2022. I thought it was yours. Okay. I know we have some of the stuff, and I don't want to put up. I know you shared some of the things with it, and
you can share any of that.
I would. I'm looking for it. I can't find it on my computer.
There's going to be, so as far as that goes, there's going to be the official Kickstarter is on April 6th.
Oh,
that is the
okay.
That's when it's going to launch.
Okay,
and then that's we're going to coincide that with. That's also going to be the first stream.
Oh, that's great. It's a Wednesday. Is it a Wednesday night? It's a Wednesday night. All right, great.
Wednesday night. Yep.
That's fantastic. So the Bandit Kingdoms Rook Roost returns for all of you fans of Will's Greyhawk stream comes back in a month from today.
Yep.
That's really awesome.
And we'll be using the CNC Castles and Crusades. We're gonna I'm throwing a solid to my guy Chuck.
So they're gonna do some sponsorship too, right? They're gonna sponsor you a little. Yes, there you go. So another added for Troller Games. That's great to hear.
And the supplement that we're doing on Kickstarter on April 6th is has stats for both 5th and 1st, 2nd edition.
Oh, very smart.
I'm not doing 3rd because I don't want to write that much.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And I'm not doing 4th because really nobody cares about it.
Yes. So you'll have 3 editions, right? CNC will be your first, or you can do CNC old school.
Well, CNC is compatible basically with first edition. So it's the stat blocks that are in there are compatible for both 1st and 2nd edition, and then I have the 5th edition compatible stat blocks that are in there as well.
I apologize that I can't find it at the last second here, because I'm unprepared.
Quite all right.
But
well, this was dropping the moment. So.
Yes, it was. I saw you on. I was like, perfect. I know you got, because we're talking about developing a campaign. Okay, how long did it take? How long did it take for you to get this written up, like put together? A year?
More than that.
Okay.
If you want to talk about how long it took me to do the articles that went up onto my blog,
the Greyhawk Companion, which I linked.
It took a couple of months. So I think all in all, maybe I was writing those and posting them up for over about 4 months period of time. And then after that, then when I took it and did the rewrite and because I had to take all that, rewrite it, change it, take out the names, rechange names, do the editing, put in the all the art, the art orders, and all that sort of stuff. I mean,
did you play it through first and then made a published version and first ran it and then published it afterwards and changed it? Or did you write it for publication from the get-go?
It wasn't for publication from the get-go because all this was written for
thank you
for the first stream, for the Return to the Bandit Kingdom stream. And I wrote it as the material for that, and then as that progressed, I just wrote more. And I started writing stuff that had nothing to do with what the players were doing at all.
Thank you.
And then it just snowballed from there. And then after I had enough of it, and I was like, the first thing I did is I just took all the articles and I put them together, and then I just put it out there as, here you can have the compilation of all the articles that I did. And then after I did that, I was like, well, why don't I publish that? Yeah. And so that's when that started. So
you're going to beat me to the publishing. So Anna and I have announced a little bit.
I heard.
Yes, Altamira will be. It's a long
box
project,
set nonetheless.
Yeah, we're shooting for a box set. We're shooting for it. So, but that is
it's a very long project.
Yeah,
I mean those things. It's amazing how much of the stuff when you actually start sitting down and going through and writing it up that you go, oh shit, I need this.
Yep.
Yeah, or I'm writing it in 1E2E and it's got to be converted to Castles and Crusades, right? Because in their base stats, and then I was like, oh my gosh, I can't call it the Order of Ulek. It's like I gotta call it something else.
Yeah.
Hey Jose, thank you. Yeah,
that was probably the most fun I've had so far.
Changing names,
because like 10 became Deca.
Okay.
Because I really want all the names
Deca,
to be. You can look at it and then
Carlos.
Yeah. So like
There's a
it's
legend at it.
it still says like the great old one. Okay, that's
Right.
I
That's
use.
yeah.
But then we also call him Magnavistus because Magnavistus is the great old one in Latin.
Yeah.
And so so then we
Smart.
give and so it's all been
Very
names
cool.
along those lines. So because I want them to be familiar. It has to be familiar because if it's not familiar, then it's kind of self-defeating. So
We got two questions from the audience so far. First question is, do you have a Kickstarter notification yet?
not yet. I just got the
Okay.
It's been so long since I've done a Kickstarter.
Right.
I had to go back through. It's like I don't have the bank accounts anymore because I can't use it. I'm not using it on my own. It's like I had to go. I just went and set up a new business bank account. I still have all my corporation
see it and all that too. Yeah, well, there you go.
Yeah, my corporation's been active since I opened it up back in 2010.
That's awesome.
So, but I didn't have a bank account for it anymore. So I was like, oh shit, I gotta get that.
the best thing, everyone out there watching, you're gonna have a Greyhawk City published. It's gonna be stripped down of its pomp and frill, as we've heard on a couple TV shows, but it's Greyhawk. So just think about that. You're gonna have this city done up for you. It's great.
Yes.
You're gonna have a reference. And then they're gonna. You may have some ideas of other places to place it too. And discuss like that. And air, there's probably you could place it in there. There's all different sorts of ideas you can have for it. It's kind of like what's the name of it? A Freeport, done by
Green Ronin.
Yes, by Chris Prame.
Yeah.
It's really well done. So, question number 2, and I may give everyone a stroke out there with the answer to this question.
Uh-oh.
When you start a Greyhawk campaign, what level do you start your characters at?
I try to start with level 0, not necessarily, but I want to, because I want them to, I kind of, and especially in 5e, I think it's difficult when they have all sorts of backgrounds, meaning that they are like already established and then they're their first level. I want them to really be grounded in one area. So they have, instead of having the backstories just written and talked about, I want to play it out and stuff. So, but I've only done it in 3 campaigns so far, but it's been from a DM perspective, it's been great. All of a sudden we have backstories we have since it began, so to speak. But from the player's perspective, maybe it's more for my fun than the player's fun. That's something for them to ask. Yeah.
Number one thing, the next campaign, not this one that's going to come up with the stream for on the 6th. I want to do Dungeon Crawl Classics funnel system. Where each player makes up 4 0-level characters.
Oh yeah, and then you die. You gotta bring them,
and then you run them through the adventure, and then whoever survives, that's the guys. Those are going to be your characters.
Yeah, I think I will.
Hey Tim.
Hey Tim. I think my next campaign, I want to run mini campaigns when they have levels that level like 3, 4, 5, or 6 or something like that, maybe 7th level something, and have like 10 sessions or 5 sessions. We run a mission, and when it's done, it's done. So we don't have this perpetual going on forever campaigns. I think that will be my thing. So I will have a bunch of pre-made ones, and people can choose which one they want, and then that fits the story. And you have a mission, a purpose, a backstory, and in we go. And we solve that mission, and you're done.
Yeah.
So Taran updated my tuna fish sandwich. I had a little lettuce in there. So.
He
wrote, I got bombarded with the stupid turtle emote last night. Every time I didn't realize I said turtle, and they got on me a ton last night. So, Will, about you? First level, starting characters out?
No, it's definitely going to be. I'm going Anna route.
Really?
Oh, awesome. Yeah, it is fun. From a DM perspective, it's awesome because you can meld things, and the tiniest little stories become enormous. You can fight the rats in the basement, become an encounter, so to speak.
Tim has no sound.
Yeah. The neighbor's barking dog can be difficult.
Take your time.
It can be a big deal. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, and it depends too. I mean, it's like the stream that we're doing in conjunction with the Kickstarter. That one, we're already playing it.
Yeah.
Because we're getting everything.
Yeah.
We're not streaming it because we're getting everything. Because I wanted to have everything pretty much in place for when it starts. So essentially, episode 1, you tune in 5 minutes in, roll for initiative, and and it hits the ground running because there's all these things that have already been done and started up and going. But for the next, like, if the next long-term campaign, totally zero.
Wow.
Zero.
Yeah.
I want to get them. I want to have them get beat up by the town bully.
Yeah, exactly. You can have the traumas. You can railroad just by putting up something that looks scary, and the characters are so you get these kind of, everything becomes an adventure, and they have to go out.
Zero level in CNC.
That's
CNC,
the thing.
Yeah, CNC's got
Zero
they have
level.
rules for
Yeah,
zero level in CNC.
Tim's working on his technical connection. All right, so for me, two separate rules. My guy's first level with developed backgrounds, and they do it very well, and they're very good at it, considering like Alan's got 70 player characters. Okay, so I forget who said it. It was either Jim Segia or one of my regulars goes, "I love your game, but I can't keep track of all the characters." I'm like, yeah, that's part of that's just what it is. That's why we have group names, because I got to differentiate them somehow. So
you should put out family trees and character trees.
I have a couple of them. I have the
people
Winchesters
can go in and
Rothschilds.
download them, and they can say, "Aha!"
Yeah, use exclamation point drawing there, Donnie B, like that. Use exclamation point drawing. Yeah, that'll get you into the drawing. So sounds like there needs to be a purge. Look, Troy, I know you like to help me execute sentences on my players, but the game works for us. And we have, 26 different adventuring groups is a little excessive, I admit, but that's the charm of this 42-year campaign. But a purge
what
has
year
to come
was
naturally.
it? What year was it, Jay, that you said we're not going to be having any more first level?
Oh, I said that a year and a half, 2 years ago, and then we did Narwhal, and I said it again, and now by the end of the summer, we're going to do our addendum to the Narwhal group. So we already have 9 of the 10 characters are already done. Bill's working on painting the minis now. I have one NPC I got to work on still. I've only developed one of mine, but everyone has all their characters all made up already for it. Yeah. So that'll be the next. Yeah. I just never can get away from it. Another new group at first. Why not? Why no first level? Well, Mike, I'm first all the way. But when I do special games with like you, Mike, or Ed Greenwood, or any of the other crew, I go between 3rd and 5th to start, depending on the group. I think it's the sweet spot for having fun with adventuring. They have enough ability, and in a one shot, they really need that. Plus, I want them. It's Anna usually, her characters usually start all in that area, right? Anna, like Nira.
Yeah. I think it's up to the style of play. And there's a rule system, that's because different rule systems have different sweet spots, and also different style of play have different sweet spots. So it's up to what type of, if you run a sandbox where things can kind of get out of hand, and you want a lot of detail and it doesn't come automatically, and you want the characters to go and explore a bit, it's kind of neat to have them really low level, because then they're kind of spooked, and you just have to put up the warning sign saying it's dangerous there, and they kind of ooh and so on. So the players, that you can herd them easy. Once they getting up there and start having artifacts or whatever, nothing stops them. So in the beginning you can kind of insert traumas, big things that can be nasty and dangerous. And you also get one thing that you need to start thinking from the bad guy's perspective. Really top level big baddies, they don't even notice these low lives. They are beneath, they don't go after them, which means you can give them some leeway, meaning you are so insignificant in the world that no one cares much. You can blend in easy when you're 0 level. And
they have people to take care of that.
Exactly. So you have some interesting game session possibilities in really low level.
Anna, with one exception. First level characters in Tim's game still have those big baddies coming after them. So
okay, well then, that can be
Yep. No one's insignificant in Tim's game.
The beauty of starting at 0 and first level is by the time they get the 5th or 6th level and you kill their character, it hurts so much more.
Yep. They're starting to get
if you started at 5th level
so,
and then you kill the characters, like, you don't have all that experience and grinding to get them up there.
Yep.
For a one-off, it's so easy to die at first level for most character classes. It's just so easy. I mean, Rangers are probably the exception. They have good starting.
Rangers, archers, knights, barbarians, half ogres. They got a lot of extra hit points.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but that's a niche.
Yeah.
It is an edge, but it's cool.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
so
I mean, for first level one-off, it better be a mystery that you're solving. There better not be too much combat.
And also 0 level, that means that my first level characters, the first level characters are better than they would be. Not more powerful, but they're more versatile. They have a few extra skills and usually a few more hit points than they would have in according to standard rules when I run it in PF1 and PF2. And I haven't thought about, because we ran in PF2 when we started this campaign, then we converted to 5e. But in 3.5, PF1, PF2, and the characters at first level were a little bit better, a bit broader, but weren't higher or better, so to speak. They were just better at, equally good at a little bit more few things. Some of them had like a cantrip and stuff extra. So yeah.
So a question I have for Will, especially because I know Will's time is limited. What is your end game? Like,
Good question.
One group with a couple characters, or maybe like 2 groups with one group helping the other group out, or a rival? I'm just curious where you want to, like 2 years from now, where would you want to see your Rook Roost campaign?
I don't know.
Okay,
fair
enough.
Because really what it comes right down to is it just depends on the players.
Okay.
Because the players, like when I did the Bone March campaign, having a rival adventuring group that was in the town with them while they were adventuring worked really good for that group, because it really irritated them. So it made it so it became a competition sort of thing. The group that is playing on Wednesday, that probably wouldn't work as much for them. So I really got to see what goes in, what starts with the campaign itself. Because when things start up, I have basically a starting premise, and then it just goes from there, because it really depends on what irritates the players the most, what gets their attention the most. The stable boy that was a knockoff NPC that really meant nothing could turn into a major NPC if they just,
Sure.
he irritates the players, because then he makes a better NPC, because it's like, oh yeah, it's that stable. You remember the stable guy? Yeah, the guy you didn't like? Yeah,
Yep.
He seems to be working for the evil wizard down the road.
Yeah.
Do you know who's a master at doing that kind of stuff? That guy right there below us.
Tim.
Taking little mundane characters and turning them into such pains in the ass. Right?
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. He took one of my own characters I had and turned him into an arch nemesis in his city-state game. Yeah, so.
And those are the best.
Those are definitely.
He's scary because Jay's like, oh my word.
Yeah.
He knows.
Lord Gru. Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as what's that, Tim?
He's so polite.
Yeah, well, you have to be polite. What's up, Wandering? Good to see you, man. So, Greyhawk. Well, you're gonna stay in the Rook Roost. I'm assuming, are you gonna stay so many miles around it to start, or are you gonna?
It's gonna be primarily a Rook Boost urban based campaign. It might go outside of the city for parts here and there, but not. Okay. It won't be delving deep into the Bandit Kingdoms itself. So at the most, maybe go up into the Fel Reeve or something awesome. Like that. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Fel Reeve's always good. There's some great stuff up there.
Right.
I don't. This Hommel town looks like a mix of Thrommel and Hamlet. I was like, I was like, that's got to be Living Greyhawk.
I think it's
vampires in there.
Yeah. At least it's not Applebee's. Did you take Applebee's off the map yet?
Yeah, and I found 2 of them. So
Oh.
and the funny thing was that for
It's 'cause
some
it's a
damn reason,
chain.
for some damn reason, I saved it and it came back again because
Oh
it
my
was
gosh, you can't get
because I
Well,
saved over and went back and copied,
Literally.
and then all of a sudden it was back again a few days later. It was like
you
it's
couldn't
cursed.
just change
You
it
can't
to
get rid
apple
of it.
trees.
It's like yes.
Yeah,
So then I got rid of it
Applebee's. Someone
again,
put
and now I
Applebee's
double
on the
check
map.
now and then that
Unbelievable.
it's still gone, so to speak.
Oh,
So,
you could have changed it to apple trees.
yeah, that might be. Yeah.
Apple
Yeah,
trees.
there you go.
That's
Yeah.
like a
Macaroon is also gone. I took that away. I renamed it. Yeah. To something else.
So
but I
we'll
didn't-
hang as much as you want. Please participate whenever you got to go. It's cool. You know,
Cool.
I thank you for coming on with no notice,
Sure.
and I'm glad
Yeah.
everyone now knows about your Rook Roost Kickstarter, and then we'll make sure we advertise that for when it starts.
Yeah.
Target date is April 6th, which is
April
fantastic.
6th.
That is so
I'll be having
awesome.
some ads and whatnot
Okay.
coming up about it here relatively soon. So
That is awesome.
Mhm.
So a hop, skip, and a jump from this area is an area that why did I go into the Shieldlands?
Yeah.
Why not, really? I mean, so when you want a place where daily life for the good guys or whoever they may be, the humans, is toil and strife and struggle. This is it, right?
So
In the
what-
From the Ashes realm.
Yeah. What
time.
is it post-war when you
Absolutely.
what? Okay. Yeah. So
Absolutely.
I used to taking over most of it, or what's
Well,
the situation?
So Ad Munford has been Walworth Isle has been cleansed, right?
Mhm.
Okay. Scragholm Isle as well.
Mhm.
Crit Wall here, and then so it runs like this. It runs here, and remember we did an adventure in this area. All up here. So here's Warmark and Kinship Mansion. This is where the Legion is. The Legion holds these here, and we did an adventure there, and it runs like along a sliver, and then runs up in the middle, almost like home. This is Walrus Crossing. We've done multiple adventures there, and they got kind of like a protuberance in Radiant Fork. That's the what do you call it? Theocracy, the Pale People. This is Drake Estate, Durgam's Folly. That's Mike Merle's adventure we ran there. Down, and that's kind of the area that is held by. And Durgam's Folly is an order of Ulek keep, because there's knights there, and that tends to be where they are. Ringland too. By the way, I want to show everyone. What's a protuberance? I didn't want to say it sticks out. There you go, a grape. I didn't want. I didn't know how.
it's like a peninsula.
Yes, a peninsula. Thank you, Tim.
A
Here,
bulge.
if all of you have not subscribed to Anna's Patreon, you have no excuse now, because I have a folder with 150 new pieces of heraldry, okay, done in that modern style that I have. I've only done about 12 to 14 of them, and Anna has done 100. I want to show you something that when I saw it, I was like, this is freaking awesome, and that is the Ringland Shield. This is
This is the latest
I'm gonna
post that
cover
I
my
did
face.
for my campaign.
Yeah.
This is Meyerhawk version
Look at
of
that.
Heraldry
All
that I
right.
did for my campaign.
That is so.
Yep.
Here's Ringland. Now, if you Ringland is in it's in Eyes the Evil, and there's a series of walled forts around it, and they have an antipathy so that evil creatures can't go in. Now, demons can sometimes break it with their magic resistance, but they tend to just farm the land unperturbed, just like it was nothing was going on. So it's a really, and I was like, wow, what a great shield. So there's a lot of wonderful stuff. Now, here's the remains of, unfortunately, Mark Yoakum's, my buddy Mark's character, David Gradavis, the Gradavis estate. When we did our 5 series of adventures in Shieldlands, this was where the finale was, and that was from Treasures of Greyhawk, right? When they got when Tom's character got the weapon that's in Treasures of Greyhawk. So that was really cool too. I know you can't see me. It's weirding me out too here. So, but what a great shield, and it's going through too. So why I went here was I wanted to up the game out of just the normal. Good has got the advantage. This is a place where if you want to start, and Anna's a master at this too. If you want to start an area that good is on its heels, this is the place. The Shieldlands is a mess, and it's more of a mess than mine. They've actually regained ground. And Adam, why don't you tell them a little bit about what how bad yours is?
Yeah, mine was kind of interesting because I read the Living Greyhawk stuff, and they turned the Knights of the Holy Shielding into something semi-corrupt, inept, and didn't do much of a good job, so to speak. And I kind of took that not too heartfully, but I took it as okay, now we need to make lemonade out of lemons here. So in my version of it is that they kept the Walworth Isle. The Iusian orcs were never powerful enough to get across over to the island, so to speak. So that was secure enough. So that was kind of a bait. But the problem for the Knights of the Holy Shielding was that old Walworth, the old commander, he was kind of old and inept and kind of he never got the message, so to speak. So he was kind of too late in all his decisions and whatnot. And then when he finally wanted to do something, he got caught up with Ius and got sent to Ius torture chambers up in the somewhere up in.
And you can free him. You can free him in Ius the Evil. I'm sorry,
exactly.
the City of Skulls adventure.
Yep. So I put him at the Gibbering Gate. It was there. So we made. Yeah, so that was part of my story. So I was like, okay, so here you have a knight order that is kind of on the needs mending and fixing up, so to speak, and that got hit really, really hard. And in my campaign, there is Gold Bahamut is he's actually. Hieronymus is an aspect of Bahamut, and Bahamut realized that what the heck, now I've neglected this knightly order and they're in my name, now they're going to get my support. So he got that when he realized that early, and he actually built that really early. And so Bahamut had, what is it, like 9 or 7 gold dragons as his protectors, so to speak. One of them lives in Selene and has one of its lairs in Selene. And in a way to start influencing, and dragons think in long term, they don't plan in an afternoon, they plan in centuries. So what Arikail is the name of that golden dragon, that is one of Bahamut's, and he has a agreement with the elves and Veluna and so on to as protection, so to speak. He's their nukes in the backyard, and he had offspring and got little hatchling 200 years ago. And in my view, the dragons need to put their eggs, their hatchlings, in contact with whatever creature they want to have as their alternate form. So if they want to have a human alternate form, they need to put the hatchling in touch with humans. They can learn from that, or elves or dwarves or gnomes or whatever, because they get one alternate form, whatever that is. And Arkael decided that he wanted his daughter, little female hatchling, because female dragons are the fiercest. So he realized, oh, I'm going to put it with a good family that could protect and expand the domain, so to speak, up north. And the Knights of the Holy Shielding were the best. So he put the hatchling at the Walworth in Admundfurt 200 years ago, or something like that. And then little Katarina, she kind of rose and became a paladin. And then during the war, she was assigned to as one of Belvor's advisors to help protect Furiundi. And then she became Belvor's bodyguard when she was like 15th or 14th level paladin and 150-year-old dragon. So Belvor would survive the war no matter what, so to speak. And then when her what's supposed to be her older kind of uncle that actually, or dad or stepdad, however they tried to present it, was running the Knights of Holy Shielding, and he got kidnapped. Then Katarina, who's the gold dragon, she led the raid up to the Gibbering Gate and got him out. And after that, she was like 17th level. And then he was like, this is not going to work anymore. I need to go back to Shield Land, because now for Yundi and Belvor, the Ius threat has gone down. So now it was her thing to take over the order, kick out the assholes, kill them if need be, and corrupt ones, chop the heads off, and pour in money and restore the Shield Lands. And that's what she's doing. So the Crit Wall and the area around is taken, and meaning now Bahamut wants to put in, so meaning they have an unlimited budget right now. They're just trying, and it's been 20 years. They have a generation of young, hungry knights with top of the gear, and she kind of they become a good cult, so to speak. And now she's starting to kick IU's butts and kick them out. That's basically the premise of my campaign, and that now I spill the beans. My players.
That's okay.
Yeah.
So another good thing about this area
Yeah.
is it's not just the IU's faction that you have to deal with. There's the Free Reavers up here.
Lots of cool factions.
Free Reavers. You got ex-members of the Horn Society if you're working with them that are still floating around, some hierarchs if you want. The Bandit Kingdoms is still, in this area can be a problem. You got all sorts of, you got bandit lords, you got open land areas. So I have the Fultus followers all just now pilgrimaging in here to fertile land to take over spots, and they don't get along, play well with anyone, right? So you can develop this area however you want. And here, this reference here by our Bruce Cordell, and done a lot by Eric Boyd in here, is a great. And this is actually the Shield Reclaimed, which is on my map, and it is all Heronius doctrine in here, along with Hextor. So you can actually use this book. There's characters in here with spells, abilities, all sorts of magic items. Especially Priest of Heronius is written up in here, and Hextor. You can have at it with this reference to get a good starting point. And that's kind of when I saw this reference, I was like, Shieldlands. And it specifically said, and that's how I got basically started in the Shieldlands. There was a great reference to help me with that. So
an idea too is if you're in it's an austere environment, it's an environment under pressure, resources are very restricted, and you're automatically going to have homegrown bad guys who want to capitalize on, hey, if I'm the only one who has clean water, guess what? I can get anything I want now, or whatever the resource is. Oh, the military needs some stuff. I want to sell them, this contract, and then disappear. You have all sorts of potential criminalities that don't even need to be some big bad guy.
Exactly.
But can really,
you go a lot of different directions. You go a lot of different directions up here.
Yeah, and
it's
create
got a lot of potential to be heroic too. You got the like I said, the low end, but that's like the hot war in the Cold War right now. Because they're still fighting right there.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's like the war never ended there.
No, you want a place where you can have everything from skirmishes, full-on conflict, or just backstabbing, Cold War kind of an agreement. So I wanted to create that really kind of varied environment, so to speak, a target-rich environment with everything from low to high level, and create at least 4 tiers of henchmen before you reach the top 4 or 5 tiers. Meaning, IUs will never come, but he is the one of the top villains on one of the
Bonehearts.
Exactly.
I've used Bonehearts here mostly lessers, but once in a blue moon, a greater.
I introduced one of them, and they killed him in third session or something.
Bonehearts, like you're saying, you could use a lot of the old horn.
The hierarchs.
That's one. That's one of my factions, and that's now interesting because in my campaign now the Horn Society Horn Society used to be there to shield IU's growth because they were on the same side to begin with, and then IU's went off the script and started screwing things up, and all of a sudden the Horn Society was like, mission accomplished, and then so it was they kind of melded away and disappeared, so to speak, officially, but they are just representative of the dark side of the old faith, so to speak, the dark druids and all that. So they are an interesting faction. They can be either an enemy or a force on the same side as the pieces, depending on the story.
So Furundians coming in telling them how to run their country.
Yeah, you get the Knights, you get the Knights of the Heart and Knights of Holy Shielding that don't mix. I got Knights of Ulek mixing in here. And I got some really incompetent, lawful neutral idiot Knights of the Holy Shielding that everyone knows, Randall White and Chet Bluegrass, the two. There's even legendary names. But you also have some adventures. You have White Plume Mountain you can always run. You can always tie it in. This is blasphemy. Don't punish me, canonistas. I have run. I think it's perfect in here. Keep on the Borderlands up here somewhere.
I don't know much about Keep more than
B2 fits really well in this area.
I think it could be. That's one of the Keep where you just have to switch out maybe some of the inhabitants to.
That's it.
Well, it'd be perfect as a new fort.
Yep.
Yeah.
Instead of having been there, it's like, oh, this is a new fort that we put up in this area to protect.
Absolutely. So
and the bad guys have a ingrown little hidden headquarters there.
Plenty. Plenty of things. Plus,
Meaning it's a large
undead
area.
crazy areas. All the dead bodies everywhere, BB, everywhere. So it's it's a good one. All right.
And then you have some classic old ones: Dragotha, Caraptus.
Yeah, well,
into
that's
this
on a
area
grander
too.
scale.
But meaning you have lots of top villains, and
Yes.
then you give them henchmen, and you give them henchmen, and you give them henchmen, and then you start having that
Absolutely.
neighborhood thug-ish or whatever that you can introduce and mess up.
Well,
things
when
for
I
the
was
players.
doing the Return of the Bandit Kingdoms, that was the thing, is that Caraptus he came back.
Yep.
The real Caraptus was coming back.
He's supposed to be reborn all the time.
And Return to White Plume. It's kind of like Horcruxes.
Well, in the return, he was basically,
White
I
Plume
had
Mountain.
Caraptus be, that was just his fail safe to run his store while he was gone. Is what that was. And then the real Caraptus was out getting more power. And when he comes back, he goes, "Hey, who the hell came over here and took up all my land?"
Yeah, but you have like Caraptus being reborn all the times. When he dies, he comes back in a new shape. Yeah.
Yeah.
Some great ideas here, but you don't need to start large. You can start small.
Yep.
Start, if you're going to start, maybe a border town somewhere. There's plenty of
I made
places.
a little village called Aldet that used to be a town and then was half wiped out
Thanks,
by
Greg.
Ayus. That's where I started down west of Export.
Hang in there one
Between
second,
Export
Greg.
and Crit Wolf there. So yeah.
By the way, I just got the tubes in for the. I got them in, so the Elmores are going to go out this week. All right, my apologies, but I wanted to make sure they were safe, so I got the tubes with the everything that I can send them out. So that's the fine. Everything else is out. Everything else has been sent out from the fundraiser except the Elmores. I just wanted to make sure that they were safe. So hey, Megan. So while we have Will and we have Tim here, let's talk about something all three of you have in common.
The Rovers of the Bear.
Oh, that's
the Tim DM'd game, and
yeah.
So, yes. Any update on that gargoyles? Rob, I'll check with Eric Mona. Yeah, Eric is a little slacking on that. I will send him a message. You have my word. I will send him a message because I have two of them to get out. Thank you for reminding me. Yes. Hopefully it won't be a full year. Yep. You're owed that. You're definitely owed that. So. The Rovers of the Barrens. Tim, why'd you pick here? Go for it. Tell us your thoughts. And you.
Okay, well, I picked here. This is how it all started. I believe it was the first charity game. Carlos was running a 4 a.m. session, and there was three of us. It was Matt Lazinski.
Guitar.
No, Jason.
Oh, wow. Jason played. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. And, I asked, I said, I'd like to, the Barbarian was on my mind because I had just finished reading a book called Wooden Leg, an Indian that fought Custer. And it was a guy had translated all the stories this guy told him about being a Cheyenne Indian in the North Country. And it was really interesting culturally. And I'm like, man, fantasy barbarians get such short shrift. Oh, me killed, and that's like, I think it's not, it dishonors indigenous people everywhere because I think they're a little bit more complicated and not just, oh, me big fight, So I was interested in the barbarian and I asked Carlos if I could do it. He said, yeah. And then I wrote this background that was really big and he was like, all right. And then after that game, he said, Tim, I'd love to see you run a barbarian campaign. I'd love to play in that.
That's how it started.
And that's how it started. So,
and Tim, you choose one of the areas that have some of the least attention to, meaning the Rovers are barely, they're almost forgotten and neglected. The barbarians in the Thelonian Peninsula, the wolf nomads and the tiger nomads have got way more interest than the Rovers. And even Carl Sarton kind of almost wrote them out of history in the wars.
I think because they're kind of recognized as most primitive, they're kind of like,
yeah.
Oh, they just rode up there and they scattered them. You could gather a bunch of tribal people like that, and if they tried to use if they tried to do decisive shock battle against what you would be fighting, they're going to lose because that's just not the way they fight. They don't know how to organize. They don't know how to maneuver correctly. They would be just attacking piecemeal, and somebody who knows how to organize and maneuver their forces is going to scatter them. It's going to decimate them, scatter them. they go run off to their places, and then they get divided and conquered and scattered left and right.
Oh, Tim. So Tim has
but Tang the Horrific taught him how to fight against the Iusians and all that.
That's true.
And also Tim invented a cool little place called Split Rock. That is kind of
which we got to add to the map.
Well, I've added it onto the latest version of the map.
Wow, there you go, Tim.
Because you haven't. Yeah. Oh yeah, it's on the map now. So yeah.
Are they horse folk in your campaign? BB Fan Fun asks.
Horse folk, as in?
Do they have access to horses and they ride them and they use them in battle? I'm assuming. They're both, right? I mean, they're not. They're not Mongols. They're not Mongols.
They're not Mongols. They're more like the. I would say I tended towards the Amerindian. And the plains, the northern plains Indians. So horses are how you move, and how
they are nomadic.
How you remain nomadic. Yeah. Nomadic by foot is
brutal.
I mean, brutal. You can't. I mean, how do you carry? You got to carry. I mean, even Eskimos have dogs that to pull their stuff.
Right. Well, that's why they got the runners. The dogs of war.
But
the war dogs.
But I'm gonna.
But that's the name of the guys. That's not actual dogs. That's the name of the
right. And the war dog. And I think that briefs well. I think in reality it'd be much more difficult.
Except Tim and I, one of our favorite movies of all time, Michael Caine's first movie ever, Zulu. They would run 50 miles and then fight.
Right.
Yeah. So that's scary.
But they weren't living that.
Right. That's true. They weren't. Yeah. Absolutely.
They had places that they were their homesteads, and then they could gather and go do that.
Yeah. So both Anna
without any armor on.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's true. Both Anna and Will have characters, higher level characters in this, and then we have a bunch of lower level characters. So Tim has two groups: a higher level group and a lower level group.
Right. The higher level group is further on in the timeline, and the lower level group is actually encountering and running into events that happened before the first Dark Hand, the higher level group.
Yes.
So they've bumped into several of the characters already. They bumped into Anna's character and
Carlos's
Jason's,
too.
Carlos's. They've all had brushes with them, and this next adventure they're going to brush up against one of the enemies they fought.
Oh, that's awesome. So this is another thing that I want to point out that's kind of genius the way Tim's done this. Your timeline does not have to be linear. So Tim's actually done higher level at a later point, and now is actually going back in time with a lower level group. There's no bearing on it really, and he's throwing them in. It's kind of almost like a flashback setting. It's perfect. There's no reason you can't do that in your game. You don't. Oh well, it's 593. I'm stuck here. You don't have to do that. So, that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah, I was actually thinking.
And this next one features a prominent event that was the pivotal event that happened right before the first Dark Hand adventure.
That's great. So they're getting close to it. They're getting close to the time starting to catch up.
My goal is to get them to catch up.
Yes, but not in level. I mean, they're still first.
Hopefully, they will catch up both in level and time. And
eventually. Yeah. But remember, they're going to go up faster than these barbarians.
So it may be that the high level group won't be played again until the next virtual GrowCon, or are we looking for a time for that?
I
know it's tough.
April wasn't going to work. I did
discuss
the possibility of doing the Tale of Rattlebones, because he was not available last game, and so he was seen riding off being chased by a whole horde of hobgoblins. So I might do a one shot for some characters. It'll be a one shot. The Tale of Rattlebones.
Very cool. Let me put the banner up for it since we got you right here. This scares me, but I admit it. But
they'd have to have more than just hobgoblins.
Yeah,
with a lot of them.
So 2 Saturdays in the morning, 9 a.m. It's a morning session. Where the children are insane.
I've even scared myself.
Yeah, so session 5. Looking forward to that. Who's playing in it, Tim?
All right. We got Patrick.
Okay, an Ancient Gamer.
We have Prometheus.
Dwayne, yep. John
we have
Birchfield. Casey
John
Brown.
Birchfield.
Blue Box.
Yeah. Mike Disney.
Mike Disney. That's 5. And Chuck.
And Alex.
Oh, Antiquitous. There you go. There's the group. Nice. The 6 that are playing in that game. So, what's your end game? Just like I asked Will. What's your end game? And I'm not talking about end of the campaign. I'm talking about where do you want it to evolve to up here? I ask the tough questions, don't I?
Kill the characters.
Kill the characters and start over.
It's always my end goal.
Well, they're always going to be the cycle of life. I would like to see, more different areas.
Okay.
In a more, I always want to kind of bring in the cultural aspects of it and try to make it more than just muddy people running around going, me kill,
Right. I agree 100%. Split Rock's
You've actually
right up
done
here.
a really good job with that, though, too. With every adventure that you've done with them, you've brought out other aspects of the Barons society and whatnot.
Yeah,
so that's been really good.
And it's a culture in flux right now because everyone was getting, everyone was partially destroyed, decimated, and so everybody was in fleeing mode. Tribes have been wiped out, and so now you have a larger collection of the diaspora of all these other tribes, and so there is a larger than average number of wise men and women. Normally the tribal shaman doesn't want too many people infringing on his power.
Right.
But now you have. It seems like they seem to be the survivors. Of these other tribes that are wiped out.
That's a lot of what I'm planning on doing with Rook Roost, is the simple fact that that is a city that is currently occupied. It's occupied by enemy forces. The occupier doesn't want to work for IUs anymore. You've got rebel factions that are within the city. You've got tons of refugees that have come in from not just different parts of the Bandit Kingdom, but from there's been people that came over from 10 to Rook Roost. So there's it's a boiling pot that's and there's any number of different places where it could just get ignited and blow up. So,
and it could be from different factions, not just one. And that's the great thing.
They feed everybody.
I want to stress this in Greyhawk. Don't make it one-on-one. Always, if you can, throw in that the Saruman of Grey, something like. It's always good to have that little side person or side group that shows up and just messes up everything that you're playing.
And they also are someone you can frame.
So that's it.
Oh yes,
I've done that.
Oh yes.
So look for more. As Tim is available and as the players are available. Every couple months, Tim runs a game. He will be running, though, one down the road because I've demanded it. I get to play Dervilia again in his city-state outside of Greyhawk. So,
and that is in May, right?
Yeah, we're going to shoot for May on that. Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a wonderful game with that. So,
we're going to need some boats, Jay. We're going to need some boats.
Bill's working furiously on boats.
Me too.
All right. Let's go here. I'm going to skip the major city ones, especially Greyhawk, because we got unbelievable guests coming on next week to talk about Free City Greyhawk. So I'm going to stay away from Greyhawk tonight because we're going to talk a lot about it. But there are
we're not unbelievable guests.
Oh my gosh!
I know.
All right,
I know.
How about this? How about this?
Too easy a target.
When there's no cool people around, he just brings me and you in.
I fell right into that. How about we have someone who wrote this next week? Is that better for me to say? He wrote this.
You could have said it the other way.
We've never had anyone on who's ever been associated with writing this. My favorite reference of all time. Next week will be on. I mean,
that is great.
Thank you.
I agree.
That is, yes. And if you guys are going, what the hell am I talking about here? Rick Rose is coming on with Malden, and we're going to talk about the Free City Greyhawk. That's going to be awesome. So,
all right.
yes, that'll be next Sunday. Cannot wait.
Did
for
you
that
see
discussion.
what Arch Xenophis just put out? I think it was today about that. The Gary Gygax had the City at the Edge.
Okay, I didn't see it. No,
you didn't see it. Oh,
No.
so basically, he wrote an adventure. This is back in early 2000s, and he was running some people through a Greyhawk campaign thing that he had done, and he wrote up an adventure called The City on the Edge. It takes place in Zeef, and he posted, there was posts and stuff that they had on N-World where he was talking about it,
but there's
and
no
then
documentation.
but there is.
Oh,
so who's ever in charge of the estate has that.
Oh wow,
stuff.
Yeah, that's probably Gail.
So
that would be awesome to see that, because
but there's an article he's got on it, talks about it, and it's got excerpts of what Gary was talking about that the party did, and it's on the coast of the Dromage, and it's a haunted city called the City on the Edge.
You know what? It kind of makes sense now why maybe Luke is pulling from that a little bit, because remember Luke's Gentufi setting is kind of Arabian in nature, right? So maybe that's where he's actually pulling from some of the Gary stuff, and that's a connection. I tried to have him on before Gary come, but he's too busy, unfortunately. So Narwhal. You could use Safeton. I know we have people who campaign in Safeton too. These are both mentioned in this box set, which is very good.
Safety's Casey's doing the Safeton stuff.
Yeah, he's doing it in the next Earth Journal.
Greyhawk Earth Journal. Yeah.
This is my.
I'll be right back.
No problem. This is my beat up one. See, it's taped and all, and I got all sorts of other crap in here. This isn't my nice one. So, but in From the Ashes, you get a nice starting point with Narwhal, and there's some detail, and I like it where there's just a hair tidbit of detail, but not too much detail. That gets you to, I can work with this. So, the stories on the Narwhal Headhunters always intrigued me, and I think that's where we go. And here's the original Narwhal map out of the From the Ashes. And we have this area up top, this area right here. Here's the Narwhal Headhunters headquarters. We have Bill's character Trevin and my the priest of Tritharion, and Brolin, his friend, my NPC priest of Clangeddon. Here, the Summoner's Shield Hall, they work with them. And then some locations, these two are published source, and these are mine, located here. And then we convert that over to, of course I'm not going to be able to find it out here, we convert that over to a 3D map of the area right here. So here's the Trevin's Summoner's Shield Hall here. So, and here is the inside of the compound of the Narwhal Headhunters. Bill's working on even more detailed terrain for this, by the way. So from that, the stories are good enough here to talk about Bladestorm. Just, it's a good beginning point, but it's not over detailed. Like when you get into, and this is hey Explorer, when you get into the Free City of Greyhawk, there's a ton of stuff, and you could be overwhelming, right? You're like, what do I do? What do I do? What do I do? Here's just enough to get you started, and from there, there's some great areas. Like you got Mistrine around here, you got Varnafane, which I use. You got and these are added locations of mine. All this area here is all added. But you have, I mean, you got Blackthorn, great location, right? You got some dragons nearby. You got the Cockatrice Riders. You got the Lands of Ayus south. You got Welkwood, which can be dangerous. The Sus, which can be dangerous. You got all this right in this area. Even it's a hop, skip, and a jump to Hamlet. You know, it's not far from it. So if you want to start with a city with a frontier bandit type of feel, and you don't want to go to bandit kingdoms, it's a good place to start. Will, any thoughts? Anna, any thoughts on that?
I definitely think it's a great place to start up. It's also, again, if you want to talk about if you're looking for a good supplement to use, Goodman Games did their 5th edition update for On the Borderlands, but what they did is they collect and pull other material and put it into it. So it's not just, they have the reprint, But like the Xenopus, that
Towers
dungeon, yeah, that's in that as well. It's there's like a lot more information
very
in
cool.
there that you could take that and you could drop that in even in here.
Is that
So,
for
especially
1E2?
down south?
Is that in 1E2 or is it all
Yes.
5? Oh, it's
no,
both.
it's got the conversion. It's got all of it in one volume. So you got the original stuff, you've got the 5e conversion, and you got the additional material.
Oh, that's fantastic! I'll have to check that out.
Yeah.
And that's the Keeping the Borderlands.
Yeah, Goodman Games Classics Revisited, I think is what it is, but it's on the Borderlands.
I'll have to take a look at that. I know that's at my
but that would be a great one where you could just, if you just want to go further south, even because now you're starting to get on the border with the Palmars and all that. That's a perfect place to have a drop keep.
Yeah, and I think another good thing with this area is that there is almost every race, meaning you have humans, elves, dwarfs, gnomes, meaning anything.
Halflings, everything.
Halflings, half-orcs, whatever. It's in that way, if you have it like in the Shieldlands, there are not that many dwarfs, even if Living Greyhawk did some brave, futile attempts to insert whatever in there. It's kind of not many elves, not many dwarves or any stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got that totally wrong. That's not the Palmars. That's I'm thinking over by Ulek. No, you go further south. That's the Sea Barons, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, my bad.
Yeah,
that's all right.
But it's the same deal. Keel land against the over by the holes and whatnot.
Yeah, but that's one of the Wild Coast area here is kind of cool because you can have types of almost anything. So it's kind of it's a melting pot in that sense.
So Lando's running the TEE from Goodman, which is cool. So they're making some great conversions and are adding a lot of extra content, which is nice. Yeah. So, but note, all of us, maybe not Anna.
No, I'm the exception.
But I can't do 100% of the time 100% homebrew. I just don't have the time, right? So if you note this is new one. This is Shadows of the Halfling Hall, right here. Okay, and this is also Camray's another town from a Troller game publication I ran. I placed them. This is Orlane. I removed Cult of the Reptile God here. All right, and put it into the campaign here. Just that's 3 published adventures with modifications to fit my game that I placed here because there's only so many hours in a day, right? So, and note, there's nothing wrong with that. It's your campaign. Do whatever you want with it. That makes sense. If you want to write your own 90% of the time, or 50% of the time, or 10% of the time, it's okay.
Stupid enough 100% of the time.
Yeah. I'm falling more into that.
That's basically what I do. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm falling more into that because I just don't have the time anymore.
Well, the way I do it is that you don't write content and then play it once and then you forget about it and then move on. What you do is that you develop an area and then you run content for years with that. Meaning I develop settlements and places and maps, and then I can keep adventuring there. Meaning I've developed one area that is basically 20 by 20 miles. We adventured there for 2 years now. In that area, period, so to speak. And what I do is then I add little things. Like, okay, now we go into this little village and that keep. Now I need to make a map of that keep and come up who lives there, who used to live there, what heraldry used to be, and so on. And that for me it's easy because I sit and do this with mapping and mapping Greyhawk all the time. So it's a way for me to drill deeper into an area and map it, so to speak. So it kind of goes hand in hand. But with Sandbox, it's more important that keep developing an area. I usually start thinking about a campaign, and meaning for me that's an area I want to do, and the big stories and the big factions. Usually 2-3 years before I plan to start it, and then I start digging into it, reading some history and putting together a set of notes. And then I come up and then I start building more intensely that starting area. And then the rest is kind of loose notes and say, okay, that bad guy here lives up there, he's doing this. And also a bad guy is usually just a name and a general idea. He's like and he's like a tough fighter. And then it's his motivations and goals, what he's doing right now and what he wants to do. That's it. It's like 3 lines of text. That's my NPC up until the players come close. That's when you stat him out and give him whatever. Before then, you don't have to worry about it. He's 20 miles away, but he might be the big thug that runs the local little scam things, or the thugs that come and raid the place where the characters are. Then you give one guy that runs the raiding team. You stat him out and give him a name, and then you know who's his boss is. When they pummel him senseless and start asking him questions, you know who he's working for and where that guy is and so on. And you have to so build loose ideas and a lot of detail where the characters are, and then less details the further away you come from them, so to speak. But you have to have, for me, it's like I have to have the general idea what the landscape looked like, who lived here, who used to live here, and so on and so forth.
You're a detail-oriented DM.
Yeah.
Which is fine. I mean, it's great. So Anna talked about layers, and there's a perfect one here, for example, in Narwhal. Lord Mastrine's right here.
Yep. Now,
he's published in From the Ashes. It says he's a 15th level neutral evil human. For my characters to bring up against him, to smash heads with him directly, is a wasted opportunity. So I have, over the years, developed the Daughters of Mastrine.
And I've stolen them. I will have them in my next
awesome.
That's such a cool idea. So
yes,
I love that idea. It's awesome. Yeah.
At least one of them is an anti-paladin. And yes, and that trap, they've fallen into that trap before. You want some tea and cookies?
You know what would be great up there?
Have some tea and biscuits. Like to stay tonight. I have a guest room, and they check it, and it's all safe.
Isn't the Scarlet Brother kind of up there? Isn't that what?
No, there's no Scarlet Brother. You got me there. Yeah. All right.
So what's the backstory for your Lord Mastrine? What's your backstory?
What's my backstory?
For Lord Mastrine, is it just an evil guy that lives there?
Here's the difference between us, Anna. I don't need to develop that yet because they're not going to go up against him. I have him as an enigma, 15th level, maybe higher when they get there. I know you like him as an person from the Great Kingdom.
Oh yeah,
I want to immediately address a question from Shinobi 2048. What's an anti-paladin? Can we go off on a tangent? Everyone okay with that real quick? I'm pulling up Dragon.
I was just typing in there.
Yes, good. Got you down. All right. So if we go back into the annals of history, here we are, Dragon 39, which is look at the when's this from? July of 1980. Here we go. Good, got you down. Try this for evil. The anti-paladin NPC. This was made 42 years ago.
I love their charisma is either devilishly handsome or diabolically ugly.
Yes, yes, Rob. No lawfully evil. John is absolutely in Blue Box. I'm going to shout him out, but he's absolutely wrong. Whoops, I just hit some wrong buttons there again.
That's an ill rigger.
Yeah. Oh my God, I'm hitting real.
Awful evil is just most of your.
I hit way too many wrong buttons.
High level knights.
Yeah. Anti-paladins are based on the 1E paladin. They can backstab. They can wear armor. They are poison. We're talking the 3-stage poison is what the joke was. Liquid, solid, gas. That's the only time it's inert until those 3 mix together, and you make yourself with a great.
So the anti-paladin can eat the same food you do, drink the same drink.
Yes,
but little did you know that sprinkled on the candle in your room is the powder that turns to a vapor that, when absorbed into your body, mixes with the other elements.
Just continued on 50.
It's hot.
One thing I hear about the old ones is they continue it on pages way down. I hate that stuff. So
yeah, like it's a newspaper.
Yeah, yep. I know. It's brutal here. Now M5, M11. Where the hell? It's back here. So 50. Here it is, the anti-paladin. Yeah, so you got a poison table. You got all sorts of wonderful stuff here. Hey, David Leonard. So, hey, David, I'm gonna have some.
Basically are just purveyors of evil and chaos, and that's what they're all about.
Yep, and they're true. They have all the effects, abilities of a first edition paladin in reverse. They're carriers. They are immune to disease, but they can cause disease. So they're wonderful.
They're war horses who extra
Great
damage,
enemies.
trampling helpless people.
Great enemies, but they can be very conniving and sneaky, and they don't have to be frontal about it, you know. So yes. So there you go. That's what an anti-paladin
It would be
is.
great to have some high, well, not high, but like a mid-level lord that was an anti-paladin. But you know, he's all foppish on the outside, but on the inside.
Exactly. I've always told the story in Tim City State where my character Kixano comes up to, "Hey, how are you? Good to see you." And it's an anti-paladin, right? Acting really nice and chummy with my character.
They were at a party.
Yeah, at a party. Yeah.
All the political people that were important were there.
So.
And then after a while, Jake suddenly had this. He suddenly realized they're all evil.
Everyone here is evil but me. Yeah, that was Kixano. What a great. Where do you get 2E materials? So, someone on Link DM's Guild, please do a linking in there. That would be fine. And also, you know, you can get a lot of the Greyhawk stuff on the DM's Guild still. But this is, if you can get a copy of this, this is Dragon 30. Oh, it's an Anti-Paladin Best of Dragon Volume 2. It's not in 3.
It's in one of them.
Yeah, I think it's the Best Dragon Volume 2, not 3. So it's in this 38, and they extended it. Yeah, because remember they said it was going to be the first 38 issues, but then they said, no, we're going to make it 39 just for this article. Best of Dragon Volume 2, and also Dragon 39 to find that. So I had to go to that because we had you sounded new. Hopefully we helped you answer that question. And trust me, I use them all the time. Well, I use them when I need to. Let me rephrase that. Once in a blue moon. So.
Some of my best villains are that.
Yes.
I thought you were going to say some of my best friends.
Yes. Tim, you never know. So, yeah.
Some of my best friends are independent.
Yeah. So think of them as 3rd edition Blackguard's closest thing I could think of if you play 3E, right? Kind of.
Yeah, they have
sort of.
Yeah.
Yeah, but anti-paladins.
They never really did a good anti-paladin outside of 1st edition.
Yeah.
Well, in 3rd edition, they were just like in others. There were like many variants.
Thank you, Lando.
So you have
that's called watering it down.
Yeah,
but it's just like the Paladin has also many different ones, so to speak. You have different versions, meaning you have like different paladins for different gods or something. So
well, you know me, I'm all about
exactly.
That,
that's meaning since the Anti-Paladin have gone the same way. They diversified, meaning you can have Nerulean ones, or you can have Ayusian ones, or hellish ones for Hextorian ones and stuff, and they will be slightly different. But
I like my anti-paladins like I like my whiskey, neat.
Yes. And once again, you can use Anti-Paladin to make him 5th edition. Pretty easy.
Yeah.
Will has made all warlocks, right? You made every warlock for every deity, every main
warlocks,
deity.
Paladins too.
Paladins and warlocks.
I'm done with the paladins.
For 5th edition.
For 5th Greyhawk
Sure.
paladins and warlocks, and moved on to I'm doing rangers now.
Yes.
Warlock sounds like he would be on anti-paladin staff.
And you just did,
right?
Yeah, you just did gnarly rangers that are right here.
I just posted one today. It was the Dreadwalkers of Keolan.
Yeah, I saw it on Facebook. I have to.
Yep, for the Dreadwood.
Awesome.
Yep.
Which is right here. So, which is right here, which is really close to the Ghost of Saltmarsh, which is really close to the Dun Mounds. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah.
And the Hools.
And the Hools! Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, so Narwhal's a good starting point for me. I'm going to skip Altamira because we're late on time and it needs its own. And Greyhawk.
I got to take off,
and
guys.
Will, thanks so very much, man, for coming on. That was awesome.
No problem, guys.
Yep.
Awesome.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Right. Bye.
Have a good night.
Wow, Samuel. Oh my gosh, thank you. 10 subs. Wow, that was really kind of you. Awesome. So let's go to an area that is really outside of Altamira, and that is the Principality of Ulek Pomarsh border. My first developed area, before Altamira even, was here, and I always tell this story, and it's in an Earth journal. Is why? Because if you looked at the original map of this area, there's a river, there's Principality, all the humanoids from the Lort Mills have fled to the Pomarsh. And there's no one guarding this entire area. There's nothing. right? There's nothing. There's no forts, keeps. So then when Living Greyhawk comes, there's a line of forts back here because they let them take this whole half of the map. I'm like,
well, was that called Sergeant that screwed up, or was it Living? I think it was called Sergeant, but I'm not. Might be Living Greyhawk. But
it was both.
Yeah, that was.
It just didn't make sense to me, and so we needed a point. That's where the Order of Ulek's main keep is here, right?
My guess is that they probably. This is just me guessing. I have no clue if that was actually the thinking, but I'm suspecting that the idea was that dwarves are not that good at defending on open plains, and so they kind of ran back to the hills and started defending there. That's
better not say it's their face.
Yeah,
that's what I agree on, but that's okay because it didn't happen in my campaign. My campaign predates all that from 1980. So all these locations, all of them that you see, with the exception of Strandkeep Castle here in Gomel, not this, Outpost 1, the White Tower, Orog's Mound, all this, Watcher's Towers, this is all mine. Junction Blockhouse, Forge Run, Archit, all my. I ripped that name off from Lord of the Rings. It's a Halfling community. So this area is a very highly developed one of mine, but also the longest one in existence. And we have a group out of Winchester's Bulwark. They're called the First Ulek Pathfinders. Bill came up with the idea. By the way, you're not going to see my face for a while. Thank you with all that, Samuel. That was really kind of you, and I really appreciate it. It's great to see you. Great to see you back, man, participating. I'm really happy about that. So Bill came up with the design, and this is a group, and Venarian Vord gets on me, and Amy, if you're still on, agrees with me. Just because you're good once in a while doesn't mean you're good all the time, and that's why Venarian Vord is not joining the Order of Ulek anytime soon. A chaotic neutral priest of Ralashaz, right? Just doesn't make sense. But if he wanted to join the First Ulek Pathfinders, oh my gosh, look, the other one's up at the same time. This group takes neutrals. Thank you. This group takes neutral characters because they are troubleshooters along this border. So
they're functioning in a gray area.
Yes, they're functioning in a gray area. So we allow neutral characters in this group. Now, Pathfinders can become Knights of Ulek, but all right, and Knights of Ulek can become Pathfinders, but not all Pathfinders are Knights of Ulek, if that makes sense. So. Exactly. Hey, I'll take it. If you guys don't want to see my face and want to give us subs all day long, that is perfectly fine. Absolutely. Like I said, I get an AARP card in 2 days when I turn 55. So there you go. Note that. So how do they enforce things? Well, is there an enforcement on a border that's hundreds of miles long and is constantly being skirmished, Dale? This is a group that goes out and gets the dirty work done. You got to go out and slaughter a whole village of humanoids to get them so they don't. You got to do some really yeah. Go ahead, Tim. Tim's mind's click.
I would prefer to just burn down all their food supplies in the middle of winter. Why waste all that arms? Why swinging a sword so much? Just go ahead and
alignment enforcement, that's simple. Alignment enforcement's easy. I mean, first edition there's a spell no alignment. Clerical spell. Also, true seeing shows your alignment in old school. True seeing, you can't hide it, right? So infiltrators have not happened. Now we've had people slip from good to neutral. It's the only
and even good people can sometimes do things.
Oh, I woke Troy up there. Oh my gosh. Yes. Good. That's the only thing. Any class, any race. If there was a good dragonborn wandering around here, it would be fine. Okay. We've had all sorts, and we have half ogres, we have half orcs in the order. It's okay. It's alignment based. The ethos is good. Same thing. Can't people change alignment? Yes. We've had those that have fallen out of the order. Emerson Winchester III fell to neutral. Right?
It's
Tandor.
Storyline based, though, right? It's usually part of their storyline.
It's part of a storyline.
Usually part of their characters.
Alignment can change. Yes. We've had people tempted. One was tempted and was turned into a shade, and and became neutral and was thrown out of the order for taking shadedom, which is not a good thing. Alignment can be fluid. It depends on your game, but just note.
Regenerate.
Yeah. So come on. He acted good. He brought Emery back. One time does not make a
Mhm.
good goody two shoes there, Troy, and you know that.
According
So
to Star Wars, it does.
that's called redemption. So there's graphical alignment languages, and if they ever come into play, we rarely use them. They're on your character sheet. We don't use them. They're there for novelty's sake.
Okay, yeah, I don't use alignment language
Yeah.
at all. It's an old relic that
I can speak lawful good. Upstanding member of the community.
I'm going to put this. I'm going to put this out there as a what if to Troy and everyone else. If Venarium Vord were to change his alignment to chaotic good, Ralashaz would no longer recognize him as a priest of Ralashaz, because Ralashaz is not a good deity. It's more of an evil deity, chaotic neutral of evil tendencies. So a good priest of Ralashaz isn't having that. So there you go.
Well, it would be a very chaotic thing to do, though, Jay.
Yeah.
You would have to give him that.
It would be on the, yes, it would be. I know Troy's busting my stones right now. I know.
Yeah.
But yes. So
I would just, I would have the same thing, but it will play out a little bit differently, because alignment is not something you announce and say, I have this. It's simply something that if you play chaotic evil and you start doing good things and helping people, eventually you will become good. And if you serve an evil deity, they will think that you just because you're not following my instructions, so to speak. You're not serving me well, stop serving them, so to speak. So alignment is guided by your actions, basically. So if you do a lot of good things, then you stop being evil, or vice versa. Start torturing people.
You're just fattening them with friendship for the
exactly. You're going around being helpful and force friendships, and you live up to them. You're no longer evil, so to speak. That's the basic gist of it.
We have alignment slips, and one character in the Pathfinders and in the adventuring groups named the Bloodied Brethren, because not all the Bloodied Brethren joined the Pathfinders. People like Fritz were forced to and conscripted or whatever. Yeah. But Alan's character, Alan's Sylvan Elf, in this adventure, real quick here on it, in Hidden Temple of Rithal, went in the bottom level where all the kidnapped children that they're raising as their own to be evil and the next generation were in a room, and they were doing a ring around the rosy. You're all gonna die horribly, singing a song. And his character went in because he was mad because they were making fun of him, and he killed them all. And he just went in and just closed the door, and I said, well, that is really a bit an evil act. And he goes, no, they're evil. I think they're kids. So, right. And everyone agrees with me.
Oh, wait. Were they humans?
Yeah, all humans.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, it's like you radiate, you radiate evil, so to speak, when you serve an evil being. If you're like a priest of Ayus, so to speak, then you will get an evil taint, so to speak, from serving him. And so. But if you're just an angry, pissed off barbarian who just likes to kill people and you don't care, you're evil, but you don't radiate evil, so to speak. You're not serving a higher purpose or something. But liches and others, well, because you have this kind of pact and you do all the rituals and whatever, that makes you evil in that sense.
People who are generally good can be pushed to the edge and they
snap,
crack, and they lose it, and then they
but not by a bunch of kids taunting you with a song.
No.
Well, I mean, that could happen depending on how traumatized the guy was.
Well, yes, that's an excuse.
Yeah, meaning you can go bonkers in self-defense, and that not necessarily. So it's kind of but the only ones who really
they were just illusioned ogre magi, and he had no recourse.
Yeah, but the only ones who it really matters with alignment are things like paladins, clerics, and other priests and stuff that serves higher beings, so to speak, that have demands and expectations on their underlings.
How about this?
Yeah,
we'll have an alignment Gabbin coming up.
Sure.
We'll discuss all this in depth.
Yeah, that's good.
All right. Does that sound good? After I get back from GaryCon, how's that sound? We'll do an alignment discussion. We'll get into the weeds on what it means and how you use it, fluidity, and all that. So that I promise that. Yes. So there you go. We'll have that. I will set the date as quickly as possible. Maybe the Sunday after GaryCon when I come back, because we'll already have a preset. Does that sound good? All right.
Good idea.
So in this area here, there's an opening. There was nothing. We developed it. the great thing about this is forays into Pomarsh all the time. There's even 2 Knight Order of Ulek. These keeps are some of the oldest keeps we have, and we did an entire Watcher's Tower scenario series here with, you want carnage? Well, this was the place to get the carnage, right? It was wonderful, wonderful carnage in this area. So just note that is a lot of fun in gaming. I've used Strandkeep Castle recently. I've used that big ruined keep that that Gamescape did for us here. The same one I used for Mike Disney's characters, War Masters Keep, the ruins of that. So we have a lot of things going on in this area, and the end game here is protecting the border, maybe foraying further into the Pomarsh, who knows? But it's basically a defensive position along the road and along the Jewel River, and it gives us hours and hours of different scenarios and opportunities in here. So there you go on that location. Once again, you can start up first level. There's great adventures all over the place. The slave lords adventures are all up here, all in this high port area, except for A0, which is on the other side. But you can always, move that. You have plenty. And also Hidden Temple of Rithnal, which we got from Vortex number 8. It's a great adventure. Is here. Anne and I placed it there. Atreka, the Sewell Temple ruins from the Gore novels is up here too along the way. Patriots of Ulek is right here. That adventure is right in this area. You got a lot of great things going on for published source nearby in the area that you can utilize. So I want a full tribunal with your bunch of knuckleheads. Tim and the other guests on the of the order. Eric Mona present his case so he can ask for guests to appear and speak on his behalf. Now that would be a show. That would have to be full role play, wouldn't it? That wouldn't be just Eric talking. It would be Venarian Vord talking.
Reginald tried to convert him to some goodness. He tried to
you did that one adventure. You did try to convert him that one adventure, and he really didn't.
Not overtly, but
Yeah. So
treat him kindly, even as a Knight of Ulek.
All right, Greyhawk Bard, I'm going to show you something here, if I can find it. Anna, Tim, you can keep on chatting here while I look for Vortex number 8 right here in my pile of hidden goodies.
Yep.
I know it's here in my hidden goodies area. I have a copy of it. It took me literally 3 years to find it, and then we got a PDF.
Jay, you said for us to keep talking.
Yeah, you're right. Sorry.
Okay, it's good. You
shit.
Well, the whole alignment question is why I have a hard time swallowing the whole I use thing, because chaotic evil might be good at conquering something, but they'd be worthless at holding it.
That's what I've done in my campaign. I really used the alignment idea for conquering, meaning they go and plunder, because I use simply wants the soldiers to give him money. He doesn't want to pay them. So,
and they're chaotic evil. Once they go through, they're going to be like, where's our resupply? There is no resupply.
Exactly. It's like, what the heck? You get, Yep.
Impossible to hold them together.
Yep.
And then when everyone starts getting hungry, they're going to start killing and stealing each other.
Hard to get a hold
Yep.
of.
Mm-hmm.
That was that Vortex number 8. That was hard to get a hold of. Let me tell you something. So before we were even streaming, Alan Groy was kind enough to help us out there because we wanted to run it. I spelled it wrong. I'm trying to find it here. Vortex. Here it is. See if I can just move it. Yeah, there it is. Okay. Vortex number 8. There's only 9 issues of this magazine. So Hidden Temple Rituals in here. Yep. So, oh my gosh, guys. All right. So I have so many things I have to talk. There, I'm covering my face again for all of you. I have so many things to talk about with Eric Mona. So by the way, an argument that it's not going to be won because I ran this and I live streamed this about 2 years ago, this adventure. But Anna and I placed this here. Rich Longitala says it doesn't belong here. I don't care. It goes here on Anna's map. Right, Anna? There. Discussions ended on that one.
On her map,
but I never heard. Yeah, but it's kind of. I thought it's kind of cool to have it in the Sus Forest.
It fits perfectly.
I think it fits.
There, yeah. So we placed it there. But yeah, there's Vortex number 8. So what's that? That is Hidden Temple of the Rithnal, the adventure. Yep. Mm-hmm. It's in this magazine. One of the rarest Greyhawk adventures you can find. Yep. So, like I said, it took me years to get that hard copy. So, oh my. All right. So I will. What time is it? Oh my gosh! Wow, we are.
Yeah. See?
Thanks Wilde for coming on. That was awesome,
Yeah.
man. And I'm glad that everyone saw what he's got going on with Rook Roost, which is really cool.
It's so cool. Yeah.
Oh, you did finally get a digital. That's good, Amy. If you did, is it in print? No, this is from the 1993. This is a second edition adventure in here, so it's 93. So to find a copy of that is probably only a couple hundred made. So I guard that one. I bet you I have this in camera. I bet you there's one thing I have that camera doesn't. It's probably the only thing I have that he doesn't have. Because he's got unbelievably great stuff. All right, so what other areas should we cover? I'm going to stay away from the cities. I'm going to stay away from Hardby. I'm going to stay from Greyhawk and Altamira. I'm going to stay away from them.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk my Celine. How about we do that real quick? We'll talk about an area that no one likes adventuring there because of this. They're isolationist. Look, this whole map area of Celine and can connect it. It's easy to connect it to Hamlet and the Temple of Elemental Evil, which is right here. Right here. Here's Verboblanc. You can Hamlet. You can connect all this great stuff in this area, connect it into Narwhal, connect it into the Gnarly Forest Rangers. There's a trove of great things you can utilize in here. I have all the estate set up in my Celine. This is all my development because Celine is pretty barren when you look at all the locations. This is a great area you can develop. Remember this Battle of South Rockwood Bridge, Tim? The first sighting of who?
I don't remember.
Begins with a P. Oh, okay.
Yeah, okay.
And remember, he got away because Mark cast a nice ice storm sheet version and knocked him off the bridge. Now you remember. It's coming back to you now, isn't it? Yes. So a long-term development.
Thank you for bringing that up.
So one thing that we didn't place, Philidor. I'm not a Philidor fan at all. A BB fan fun. Oh, look at cranking it up, Patrick. Thanks, man. I think Patrick felt bad. He was beating me up with Troy. So, but that's all right. Another thing that you can add in your area, and I want to give a shout out because Tony played last night, and a lot of these adventures have a Greyhawk flair to them. But this one here, I placed right in the Sis Forest. All right, let me throw it up.
You hold it. Which one?
I'm going to throw it up here. Xanthoria and Candlekeep Mysteries.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So, I guess I can, I'll just leave it here. So, it's a 16th level adventure. Zugtamoy is the main deity in it, and that's a Greyhawk deity if we've ever had one from the temple. It just fit perfectly with and so I threw it right in here with plaguing Celine, and actually the plague, and it's a literal plague, got into Altamira as well. So and it was this whole area of Lightning Rod Tower was affected too. Fensick, your tower that's yours is yours right there. So
you better not bother that.
Yeah, well, you had a lot of people die from it, but that was no one important. So another area that you can start with and just start filling in and doing some adventures. And you can do them on the border. You can do like stuff in the Cron Hills with gnomes, right? Have some factions of humanoids running around through here. The Sis Forest runs so long, you can run humanoids all the way up through. You can go.
It's humongous. That's massive.
Yeah, along with this and the Vespi, which we only touched on a little bit. The
Vespi is enormous.
Huge areas. You can first adventure out of Candlekeep. Good. That's Scarshot. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Then you can place that in Forgotten Realms, or some of them even in Greyhawk. And
I think the Sis Forest is like 4 or 5 times the size of California.
Wow.
Mm-hmm. Or maybe big. 6 times the size. Yeah, it's
pretty big, right?
Yeah, it's big.
How many times the size of New Jersey? Oh boy.
Yeah. It's like putting the Earth.
Scientific notation.
It's like putting the Earth inside Jupiter. You know how many thousands of times.
Well, it's like the whole of the Flanese is bigger than the lower 48 states.
Yeah.
way
which is
bigger.
good, which is cool.
Yeah. So it's kind of cool. So that's why the Vespi Forest is kind of big. Yeah.
So in this area, we only have two really. We
Yeah.
we went to Retriever's Grove and the Eagle's Nest up here, and that's it for our areas. Qualston's way. I didn't realize how far north Qualston is. It's north of the Timeless Tree.
Mm-hmm.
That's a long way up, and that's of Qual's Feather Token area. So, yep. And I know we went over a lot of stuff, but the whole point of this
That is far.
Yeah, it is very far. And Will really helped out, and Tim really helped out, and thank you both. The whole point of this discussion tonight is if you're new to Greyhawk and you find an area that interests you, and I just gave examples of what I did, what Tim does, what Anna does, and what Will does, and develop it. Whether it's one little town.
Yeah, I mean, take a small settlement and a small area and put a lot of interesting things, and then think about some big guys, some overarching thing that will go on that you don't need to have detailed right now, but an overarching idea of what's going on and what's behind the troubles or whatever you depict, so to speak, and then detail the trouble, the thugs that come raiding, or the secret cult that lives in the basement somewhere, or the monsters that is out in the swamp, or the troll tribe that comes in and raids once a month or something, and you need to go after some local story, and then, or you can just start out with that and then come up with the overarching story afterwards, so to speak.
I'm going to give a shout out to Carlos here for some ideas too. So note that Carlos is really good on publications with settings too. So you have Wily Hobbit basically on his game on Sunday running Caverick's Cove, which is in Rotic. So this is basically a campaign setting. First, you could start at first level, and you have the 9, which is in the Great Kingdom.
Yep.
Which you can start at first level as well. So you got 2 campaign setting adventures here by my friend Carlos Lacing that you can start a campaign out of. And I know some people in the community have done that. So that is something as well. So could it be said that the Flanders is equivalent to all?
No,
North America?
it's smaller than the whole of North America. It's smaller than that. It's bigger than Europe and smaller than the whole of North America. If you include Canada and Mexico in it, then it's much smaller than that. But it's bigger than the 48 states.
But you got to remember, Monoland is still here too, right?
Yeah, if you start including that and further west, then it depends a little bit on what. It's a bit like Europe, where the borders, so to speak. It's a little bit more. It's a geographical. It's not like a geometric perfect spot, so to speak. But that map is 9,000 kilometers. That's like 6,000 miles, something like that from across. So it's kind of big. Yeah.
So no, we didn't touch on any of the cities. We didn't touch on my Hardby, my Greyhawk, and what I do in there. Well, Greyhawk will be next week because we're gonna have some great stories, and my Altamira, and we'll get.
We didn't touch on ID.
Yeah, we didn't touch on your ID. Yeah, there's a lot of things we didn't touch on, but we got through some great basic things, and we got some perspectives from 4 different people who know about Greyhawk and know how to do settings. 3 of us and Will, and I hopefully, like you said, you can always ask us questions. If you have any, Discord, email, whatever, and we'll forward them to the right person. Join the here's the Campfire Discord and the Virtual GreyhawkCon Discord. Always you can join those, and you can also join Greyhawk Online's Discord. You got to go to their website, the Greyhawk Online website, to get through to their Discord. Feel free and always ask questions. We got great people in those Discords. Particularly, just note that there's people here to help, and there's a lot of other things going on in the community. So, in closing, Tim, what would you like to? Thanks for coming on, man. It's always great having you. I mean, Tim started my game in 1980, so think about that. I've known Tim for 42 years. It's kind of scary.
Yeah, I'm redoing my wall. It's not easy to set up. I had to throw something up there. So
awesome. What would you like to say in closing on this topic? We will do an alignment discussion, I promise.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
Definitely.
And we're going to do it in character.
We can. I don't know if it's. I don't want to get into any fights, but we can. I will. Trust me. You know what I'll play? You ready? I will play Andrea Winchester and Elaine Winchester.
You can only play one.
Well, which one? I know you don't want me playing Andrea because you can't stand.
Yeah, Andrea is just rude. It needs to be somebody who can be, a nice, mediator for the discussion and debate.
So you want Elaine Winchester?
I'm not picking names, but somebody could be a mediator.
You don't want Fritz Winchester. There you go.
Fritz would not be a good mediator.
Yeah, Fritz is so chaotic.
Not smart enough.
Yeah.
Not wise enough. There's so many places to pick from to start a campaign, start an adventure group, and the square. You know, you can pick anywhere and build from there, and then, you know, and then with magic, if you want to move to somewhere else, there's a portal somewhere, or they get teleported, or there's all sorts of ways you can get them to go to different places.
So, thanks, Tim. I mean, you know, I'm looking forward to in 2 weeks sitting here and producing. Are we non-VTing it yet? We're not using it, right?
No, I have a map. The problem is I can't find a product that is matching my what I want. So I probably have to draw it and then digitize it, then use that. The question is how to. I don't know yet how to use it via Zoom with you and all that stuff.
Well, we'll work on that. So we'll work on that this weekend. How's that sound? We'll get whenever you're free.
All right.
We'll go from there. No problem. Not a problem at all. It's easy. It's easy. I'll show you now.
I'm looking forward to Where the Children Are Insane.
Yeah, I think the audience is too, because they're so disturbed by that title that yes, just
and remember you said, yeah, low level guys, they run into some big tough ones.
Yeah. Oh, see, Troy is on a warpath tonight, which is awesome in a way. So that's really cool. On a map that haven't even dabbled, but you thought would be great to explore. Yes, there are. So like.
What?
There's areas that haven't been touched. Like all was not touched until Mike Bridges touched it, right? Here's an area that's really not touched. The Plains of the Paynims is a good spot, right? The Plains of the Paynims out here is good. Swaths of the Great Kingdom, the Sea of Medesia, Sundi is barely used.
I think the ocean.
Yeah, ocean adventures.
There's islands everywhere.
Yeah.
That's
it. You can do Lendor Isle. You can even do a Lendor Isle campaign with L1, L2, and L3.
It's like a mini setting.
Yeah, absolutely. Lendor Isle is here. There's all sorts of places. You know, the North Province, the Southern North Province is kind of, you know, I know Dale's got his Northern North Province. Listen to me babble up here. But look, these places are so huge. Now, Michael Von Moko's got Nairon, but the Ernst areas are kind of untouched. Not too much going on in Ernst. You could use some Ernst campaigns, especially Radagast City. I think that would be a great place. It's a port on the Near-Dive, right? I don't think there's much done on it. That'd be another one cool. Yeah.
Yeah, Radagast City, I think it's an excellent. It's very interesting because it's a good base that is near evil and villainy and chaos and all sorts of stuff. So in that way, it's an excellent place because you often, especially at the beginning, you want somewhere the party can go back and rearm and for some R&R and sell their stuff and then go back again and go out. So and you within reach, you have lots of interesting locations. I mean, you have seaborne adventures in Near-Div. You can go up and you have the White Plume Mountain, you have Rift Canyon, you have Stowink, and a whole bunch of stuff. So Radagast City is one of the interesting metropolises as an adventure base.
Now Tim's doing Rovers of the Barrens, and you have some 5 shall be 1 adventures up here, Stonefist, right? But you do the Wolf and Tiger Nomads basically are untouched for the most part, right? They're not really a lot of published source adventures on them. There's some discussion about them, but there's really not much. You're correct on the North as well. Yeah. I know that is true. Yes, Patrick. I was just being facetious there with Troy back at him because he's giving me a hard time tonight with the alignment slip thing. So Hannah, anything else you want to say in closing? That was a great question, though. Thank you very much.
Yeah, I simply wanted to say that this is something you should do for fun, so to speak, and part of playing. And don't be scared, and don't do end of the world scenarios. Don't try to do the whole thing. Start small and take one little area and come up with some cool thugs. You don't need to tie into the big picture of Greyhawk, meaning all the big plots that I'm doing is because I'm so bored and I've kind of read about this now for 30 years. And so skip that. Just come up with a cool little place, find an empty spot on the map, read about the country in Living Greyhawk Gazetteer or the 83 box sets. You get one basic idea of the environment, meaning what kind of environment. Do you want like Viking-esque raiders and pine forest and cold? Go to Rathik or something, or like the general area. Do you want like something warmer jungles? Then go there. So and think of the kind of idea. Do I want to have trolls, or do I want to have humanoids or something as my enemy, or do I want to have the local thugs in a city or something? Then pick a place or make it up yourself, place it and come up with the local little hoodlums or monsters and stuff you want to have. And then as you play, you will figure out more things and start reading and Google the areas around it and build from there, so to speak. I think that's the
Michael brought up Von Michael brought a great idea. The postcards are there on Cannon Fire. If anyone, someone wants to link that, please do. Also, the cities on Cannon Fire are there too, all done up. So we have a lot of great resources on Cannon Fire. But end of the world stuff is
Matt Melman had the idea, meaning if you failed, meaning it's a campaign you can't fail.
They're afraid of the end of the earth, but it's the end of the world, but they don't necessarily know it.
Thank you.
Yeah. You can make small, meaning it's the end of the village will be raided and everybody killed or something. So start by screwing up a small area before you move up and screw up large places.
Absolutely.
And like John slaughtering everybody in Hamlet.
Well, John, that's your fault though for all the critical hit tables.
No, he had all the villages killed.
Well, he did, but it
wasn't my fault.
I kind of undone. Yeah. So you really can't screw it up, except for destroying everything. Kind of like in the second Return of Planet of the Apes one, where they just blow up the whole planet, right? There's nothing. So you can, but it's kind of thank you, Alex. Really appreciate you doing that. So my in closing says, if you have questions, just ask. The community is willing to help. And if you're DMing and you want to give a shot at it, you don't need to know all the lore in canon. That's another thing. You don't need to know every little detail, every little location.
No one can that. Meaning, come on, we miss so many stuff. Meaning, I try to do the map, and every week there's someone, or every other day someone points out something that I missed.
I didn't.
And remember that all the stories that are quote canon could just be the official version that is released to everyone.
Yeah.
So if your version is different, you can be like, well, what really happened is that they just kept undercover.
Yep.
So I use 80% of From the Ashes. I've always said that 20% of it I can't stand. I use about 80%, maybe 75. I don't know, but I use not all of it because it just didn't incorporate it.
I use all of it.
Yes. There's a lot I don't like about From the Ashes. Philidor the Blue is such a ripoff on Gandalf that it's just I don't understand why you would even go there. So was the focus on Fiends running over? It was too much on Fiends. I agree, Amy. There's a lot of that stuff, but there's some good things in there too.
Yeah, I think if that many extra planar creatures had showed up, all the nemesis of them would also have shown up. So you would have had all sorts of extra planar creatures coming for the good guys to fight. Kind of a breach of contract, a breach of rules,
Yeah, that's kind of yes, absolutely. Very true. So just have fun, and like I said, reach out, and I hopefully got something out of this discussion. We like to have these theoreticals. Yes, that's right, Samuel. An NPC will be telling from its viewpoint, his or her viewpoint, and that viewpoint may not be correct. That's absolutely correct, 100%. That brings us to. I want to go back to last night. All right, real quick. If you don't mind. I want to go back to what a great game. I had so much fun last night.
Oh, you had a game last night?
Yeah, something like that. So this was last night. Now, I want to say one thing. The point of view thing was Todd's character, Morton, had this map, right? And Anna was kind enough to do up the map. I don't think I updated on this one. I think it's only updated on the previous for the game. So when we had Fallen Crest, and when they found Fallen Crest, it was a mile further down the valley than it was on the map. And man, did he play that up really well, right?
Yeah, it's awesome.
He played that up so well as to that one stinking mile difference, which is a great thing.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, and that was really a wonderful thing. But I normally don't do this, but I'm going to, because you know everyone. Zarathon will say I'm an arrogant SOB. Todd and Ed have said some very nice things about what happened, and I posted them a couple places. So I'm just going to link. We will definitely have Todd back, is all I'm going to say. And you can tell from that link we've been talking from direct chat too. It was very kind of him. Ed said some really nice things as well. I had a great time last night, and thank you all, because without the community support last night, it's not flowing. And one of the things Todd said was, I have never heard or seen more interaction, not talking about the game like in Critical Role, but interaction with the audience going into the game and any other stream that he's ever had. And that was really exciting for me to hear. And I wanted to say thanks, because it really was. It was a fun time. Yeah. Thank you. So I've beat that up. It beat that dead horse enough there. So
yeah, but it was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And thank you everyone who showed up and made it fun.
Yes.
For us that played too. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yes, definitely. He's done a lot of roles. I mean, he's been in like 120 to 150 things, and he's a writer, and he's got a really cool basement too. It's actually his garage, but yeah. So, well, thank you. Very, very cool. So, shout outs, Tim. What's going on?
March 19th.
There it is.
6 barbarians, 5 hours, no survivors.
Ooh.
Oh, that.
No, there'll be survivors, hopefully. I anticipate survival to be pretty high.
Yes.
There may be some very significant changes to their characters. Their characters may have some changes. Because I use my crit table, right?
Yes. Well, you know, yes, you're crazy crit table, which is okay. Skarshack, I don't know when 2 Drink Minimum is going to return, because I have the other group that I'm scheduling. I kind of alternate between the two, but we'll see when Ed's available, and then we'll go from there. But my guess is sometime in May. That's my guess, or maybe even the end of April. We'll see. We'll get them in. It just depends on Ed's schedule and Ed with his wife, and getting all the group together. We always try to make it so there's only one person missing from the group. This time Eric Mengi was missing, so we try and do 5 out of 6 basically. Or actually 4 out of 5 with a special guest.
It's another reason to have a wonderful guest players coming in.
That's it in that group. That group has. We're gonna have a guest player in the other group too, and I'll talk about that. So, yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's funny, with Wayne. So Tim's game is in 2 weeks. I have no special event coming up this upcoming weekend, no Friday or Saturday, because it's when family and friends are going to celebrate my 55th.
Woo!
Yeah, so there you go. Had to do that. Tim, thank you very much. Anna,
thank you.
Well,
I'll just say too, we're still looking at doing possibly the Tale of Rattlebones.
Yes.
In April, possibly.
Okay.
Cool.
Awesome. Yeah. If we can work it out, of course, permitting. Anna.
Yeah, I just posted a thing that I've been kind of busy with real world events, so I'm like 10 days behind now, but I'm working a bit in background. I posted a couple of days for my mid-tier patrons, the Meyerhawk patrons, so to speak. I posted the heraldry for my Shieldlands campaign, and it was 33 shields heraldry, and Jay showed one for Ringland, and there is and most of them come with backstories and stuff too. So there's some backstories, and there's also multiple heraldry for most of the settlements.
Blackmore.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna keep on throwing a bunch up.
Yeah, but that's not for my campaign. That's
I know.
General. Yeah, but Jay has them all now. But anyway, so thank you Thank you, George. So
Crit
I
wall,
placed that
main
is for my
guard.
campaign. These are the temple guards in Crit Wall. That my main temple guards is their shield. So what I've done is that I've done heraldry over time. So you have like the oldest version and the newer version, and then the version after I use takeover and stuff. So I think the one has like 3 or 4.
Old Walworth with the Great
Yep,
Kingdom
that's
symbol.
exactly. That's the oldest version when they settled the area. Iridians or the Erdi settled Walworth Isle and made and so on. And then there's a version after that. Do
That
you
one.
have the next one? No, there's one in between.
Oh,
That's
okay,
the
this
latest
one.
version.
This one.
Yeah, that's the one. They took away the Erdi son because they were no longer part of the Great Kingdom, and then eventually they got the third one there with the white tower at the top. And you can also see that they're aged. So the oldest version is that one is
Yes, looks
decrepit and rusty and stuff, and the middle one. So the shields actually look like, if you will find them in your campaign, you can find, if you find one that is for Stasser.
I got it right here.
Yeah, that one is old and decrepit. That's the mid one. That's the second oldest.
Stars are old. Here we go.
Yeah, that's the oldest. That's the first version from and it's kind of blue greenish. So it's like an old magic shield, but it's like 600 years old almost. So it's from the very early when they settled it up there. And then you have the mid one is from up until 25 years ago, and it's a battered, beaten one. But
you have this Stazer one too.
Yeah, and that's the latest version after Iusians took over. So that's the one, and they building a wall. So that it's actually depicting the same thing, but it's different. So they took in. So Iusians took inspiration from that one. The first one and the second one have the Shieldlands red in the background, and then the Pharaon red, and then it will turn into the Shieldland red. And they have a row of runes that are old Flan runes.
You also have
Monoland
ones too.
Yeah.
I mean, these are awesome. Look at those.
Yeah, so it's a whole bunch of
so
thank you, Patrick. So yeah,
we are going to have a heraldry.
Yes.
Gabbin. It's going to be a Gabbin, not Legends of Lore, because we're going to delve into all of ours, right? And then, because this is still Patreon only, you can only get them if you're a member of Anna's Patreon.
But they will be available for everybody in a month or two. So they will come to everybody eventually. So yep. Yeah. Oh yeah, definitely they will come to everybody. It's just that my patrons get first take on things here, so they will come to everybody.
Yeah. So anything else going on, Anna?
Right now, I'm working on doing more of the Atlas map. So I'm up to 60 now, I think, or something like that, out of 98. So give me before GaryCon, I want to have all of them done, and then we can make sure that we can get the index gun going and stuff like that, and then the final version of the 576 map, so we can wrap that up for in a couple of weeks here. So yeah.
All right, I got to do these in reverse order, so my brain is like, okay, 1 second, there, then and there.
I just wanted to say again, thank you so much for everyone who makes it possible for me to sit and doodle and do these things. So it's so much fun. Yeah.
So here's what's going on for next week. One thing, it's only 3 streams. I still don't know what my game is Thursday, so I got to skip what I'm doing there yet. All right, I haven't even after last night's game. I just hadn't planned out. Wednesday night is going to be a great discussion. Zagig, okay, we're just going to delve into all of Zagig's history, locations, what he's done for the campaign setting. Rick Miller and Gary Julian should be joining us for this. Okay, that'll be a great discussion. Along with we'll have a full cast on this one. That'll be on Wednesday. Once again, Thursday night is going to be a normal adventure. Not sure what it will be, but then we have next Sunday. We're going to have one of the writers of the original Free City Greyhawk box set, Rick Rose, who wrote it with Carl Sargent, who did a lot of it, and I think Doug Niles is the other one, and Dennis Maldron Tetro, who did a lot of enhancements to it. And that map I spent 3 years finding. I have that and all the Maldon enhancements, and we'll discuss them too. So it'll be on the Free City of Greyhawk, but I get Rick Rose is guaranteed to have some really tasty tidbits that no one's heard.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we're really looking forward to this discussion next Sunday. After that, we have Tim's game, right? And then the next special game that I'm working on, I got 4 of 6 committed. I got to get the final 2. I got one of the final 2. I haven't checked my Discord. Is we got the Slav Squad returning, and that is Mandy, Bones, Darling, MJ, Myriad, and Zarathon, with a possible very special guest. They talked about they wanted to have this person, so that may happen.
Ooh.
But I have to finalize the date first. Right now, we're looking at Saturday, April 9th, which would be I don't know, a week or two after I get back from GaryCon. Because if I don't spend family time after I'm spending almost a week away, then I'm in trouble. So that'll be the next evening event, and then after that we'll go back to 2-drink minimum. Every 2 months to 3 months with 2-drink minimum is about the limit that Ed can do, and so plus with Ed doing a Gabbin in between that, so we really. Well, yeah, the triple S, but everyone makes fun of me, George, for saying Slav Squad, right? So, and they're
they
great,
have really big quads. Their quads are like
yes. So I they will return on Saturday, April 9th. I am 80% sure of that date. All right, so that's what I will say. All right, well, thank you all for a great show. Let's get some. We're gonna raid tonight. We're gonna raid into Darling, Creep Show. It's her turn when I alternate between her and Bones on with going on a Sunday night as they're playing their game. But let's do the 2 giveaways. Oh, did I say turtle?
No, I don't think
no,
so.
I don't think so. I think Troy is just busting you.
Oh, I said it a lot last night. I know that for a fact.
Oh yeah, last night.
I really said it a lot. So
but you do it more in live games because
kind of
Hager,
total
is part of that.
Yeah, I just can't help myself with that. It's just like it's always something in my.
When you start slurring it, you start saying
that South Jersey dialect. So mind games. Our last call for signups.
Yeah, mind games.
You get your choice of 2.
I mean, D&D really is a mind game, isn't it?
Because all right, you're gonna get your choice of 2, and if you say 2 of the same, I'm gonna say I'm gonna use the Bill No Just No emote, which you don't want me using. So closing this out. Here we go. Signal got in. Tim, what do you need these for?
I just wanted to see if I could make it in when you said it's closing.
The NAS. All right, well that's UK, so I'll work something out with the NAS. The NAS is a winner. Awesome.
Cool.
I'll work it out. He's always
Sorry.
good with that. Second winner.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll work something out. Second winner. A new name, Geo Nags. Wow,
cool.
That's a brand new name. Is Geo
Congrats.
Nags on hanging out?
Cool.
He is. He or she is. Let me rephrase that. So, Geo Nags, you are a winner, and you can just tell me which of these 2. If you want a recommendation, I go with Saltmarsh and Ghost Tower of Inverness myself. That's what I would go with. So, yes, okay. So, Geo Nags, I need your name and address. And I will get them out tomorrow, by the way. This is what I recommend. Border Watches, it's okay, but these are 2 unbelievable classics. This is the original from the Assault Marsh and the original Ghost Tower. That's where I would go. And great, and thank a new person in the community winning. That is awesome. These all come from Drive-Thru RPG. Will someone, Patrick Kane, Ancient Gamer, sends me a whole bunch of stuff. Courtesy of Patrick, thank you so very much. Yes. But it's the DM's Guild version of Drive-Thru. So if someone could link that in chat, that would be wonderful. All right, good. I will send you those 2. I will get with the Naz and send him something via in compensation. We can work that out. And thank you all. Look at it. We got a huge audience again. Thank you. The community is. We're always here to help. Note that things are going very well. Last night was wonderful. Tonight was wonderful. Great week. Finishing up next week, we're a little bit calmer with only 3 streams, but it'll be a good week nonetheless. We're gonna raid into the Darling tonight, Creep Show. Remember, you can have 2 things open. Let's go into Darlings, say hello to her. She plays in the Slav Squad, and so does Little Bones. We kind of alternate them when I raid and able to raid. But you can have them both open, and they'll get credit for both. So raid into Darling, and then just open up both in a separate window. We'll see you all Wednesday night, and keep on hanging out and play Greyhawk. And it doesn't matter what edition you play, just and what style you play, just enjoy the game and play. As Ed Greenwood says, play with friends. That's what matters. Have a great night, everyone. Thank you, Anna.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, Will.
Anna, good seeing you.
Yep. Good seeing you too.
Wrong button coming.
Uh-oh.
Well, you had to meet your quota. So.
Wow, I gotta manually do this. I'm hitting my
It's
Stream
like
Deck's not working.
No button.
My Stream Deck hit a some kind of weird thing. Oh, thank you. Hope you got. Thank you very much. Hope you got some good some good thoughts out of this and some ideas, and that's what we love to do with our discussions here. Okay, set up the raid. Always got to raid the Slav Squad. They're awesome.
Need some watermelon for Tim's axe show next time.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, 136.
Oh,
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We'll see you Wednesday night. Have a good evening. Wow, that's an awesome number.
That is amazing.
Wow.
We Gabbin, we just babble and no big guests or anything.
It's connecting to chat. It's not there. There we go.